Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
Is the next search on February 28, 2020, 7:44 p.m. How, does the FBI find people? The people's misspelled P-E-O-O-P-L-E.
I object.
Did the defendant find out how the FBI finds people in this case? Oh, she found out. Did the defendant find out how the FBI finds people in this case? Oh, she found out. In this case? Oh, she found out.
I don't know, I just like the oh she found out part. Oh, she found out. It's worth playing 3 times. Welcome back to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. I wish I had I need to be able to be live on my stream and watch everyone else's at the same time. I think I need a clone. Can somebody hook me up with a clone? Yeah. All right. It's good to be here. Welcome. We're about to begin the second part of day 2 of this trial, Vermont versus Joseph Ferlazzo. Wild trial. Terrible audio. I think we're through most of the recording parts, so it might get it's a little bit better, but by a little bit, it's not much. Not much better at all. But while we wait for court to start, I have to tell you, I discovered something online. Right, I discovered government auctions. Okay. And I've discovered them previously before, and I've actually participated in them. Believe it or not, my oldest son financed a good deal of a year of college through a government auction, and locally went to the local college, which sells stuff off. They auction off old equipment that they don't need. I bought, of course, I went there and I bought a pallet of cameras, all of them garbage, pretty much. I sold them. I think I paid $20 for the pallet of cameras. I sold them for like $150 as parts, and that was cool. Yeah, whatever. So I made a little bit of money. It took a long time. Finally ended up throwing most of it away. My son bought what he thought was a pallet of drums. He ended up actually it was a set, so it was 2 pallets of drums. The entire drum line had been changed out, all the equipment. He bought all the drums from Eastern Carolina University's drum line marching band for $20. For $20 at an auction, at a sale, and and he sold them for like $400 each. Okay, so he sold them for a ton of money. They sat in my basement forever. We finally sold the last, the 5 drum marching kit and no bass drums, all just mostly snares. He made bank. He did. And these were used drums, and he sold them as practice drums and stuff. Some came with the harnesses that you could wear them and everything. And they're great condition. They're just, a little worn. It's all. I just discovered the world of online government auctions, where basically almost every government entity that has equipment is not allowed to just throw that equipment away when they're done with it. When they replace it, they have to sell it, and they have to sell it usually through an auction system. So I've been looking at auctions. When I'm looking over here, I'm searching for auctions. I want to buy something. I want to buy something online, and I'm intrigued. I like the mystery idea. I wouldn't quite call it gambling. It's pretty much a sure loss. But one of the agencies that sells things is the United States Post Office. The United States Post Office sells people's packages. If you order something and it goes through the mail and the machinery shreds the label, and they're like, oh crap, I don't know where it goes now. It's okay, we'll auction it off. That's what happens. They don't open it. They don't say, oh, it says it's from Apple and it's going to, we're going to call Apple and say, hey, are you missing something? No, they just stick it in the box. We'll auction it off. And whatever it is goes to auction. The United States Postal Service, yes, they sell. If you've ever not gotten a package, someone did get it. And they probably bought it at an auction for pennies on the dollar. So here's the deal. USPS, the Postal Service, they auction things off in truckload quantities. So you're paying $20,000 for a truckload of other people's mail. Just packages. No, we're not talking credit card offers, letters, bills, birthday cards, things like that. We're talking just packages. And it comes in what's called a Gaylord. It's one of those, like when you go to the store, they have watermelons for sale at the store. And it's in one of those pallets with a big box. It's those, just full of people's packages. Everything you can possibly imagine and more, unopened. And I sort of want to do that. These are packages that some are, the people just never came and picked up. They might have had a post office box and like, look, it's been here. It's been here for 6 months. You haven't come got your mail. We're selling it. Okay. I just like opening stuff. I do. I went to the post office today, by the way. That's why I was thinking of it. Thank you, Sloth Life. And I'm trying to remember who sent me the meat thermometer. It arrived. Thank you very much. It is awesome. So now I have 2 meat thermometers, one laser range, like from stand back, and one probe. And then I also got some sweet treats from Scotland. Well, Scottish treats from Amazon, from Sloth Life. Thank you very much. The coconut chocolate marshmallow ones, I think they call them Idaho Spuds here, like our version's Idaho Spuds. I know that because my wife is from Idaho. Chat not on screen. Oh, I'll fix it. Chat should be on screen because Greeners won the chat again. Congratulations, Greeners. This is all you. Some other YouTubers open them and end up donating most of it. Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. I don't want like a truckload of mail though. But if you want the USPS stuff completely unopened, unsorted, you have to get it straight from the government, from their auction when they sell it. And Lynn in South Carolina, welcome to the gallery. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I just don't want a truckload. I feel bad for the people who don't get the package. A fun fact again, because I used to sell on Amazon a ton, the seller is responsible. And if the post office loses it, you can file a claim. There's somebody loses in that. But at the end of the day, the post office doesn't know who owns the package, so there's no way to get it to them. And they have to get rid of the stuff. So I don't know. Anyway, I might be doing that because it's full on recovery. Yeah, we're recovering lost packages. Mrs. RA is not a big fan because it's stuff. It's stuff. But what Twister coming here? No, I'm just warning you that I might be bidding on somebody else's mail. I might be buying somebody else's mail. There's bound to be drugs in there sometimes. Oh, that would be bad. Don't want that. They lost a box of chocolates last year. I was so mad. Yes, properly label your packages. If Zimmy says I can send you some of my stuff. No, I don't want your stuff. I want other stuff, just random things. Where do we find some? I'm looking at govdeals.com, liquidation.com. Anyway, the lowdown on this. First of all, I would if anyone else wants to do this, my 100% strong recommendation is don't. Most of the places that offer to sell you lost government mail or undelivered packages are ripping you off. It's they are pre-sorted, they are pre-cherry picked. Sometimes they're even X-rayed before you get them, so that all the good stuff is taken out, and you end up getting some size 3 shoes, returns, and a couple pieces of junk and a pair of headphones. That's what happens. Anyway, I might do that. So, but I don't recommend it to anyone else. Would there not be paperwork inside, at least from the businesses? There could be. Yep. Storage building auctions. I need a good truck with a cheap dump nearby so I can do storage units. I have done storage unit. I've gone to storage unit auctions before. That feels, it's very personal because yes, Mrs. R.A. is right here saying, have I mentioned I'm a minimalist? Yeah. Anyway, it's a fun business if you want to get into it, the art of retail arbitrage, but this is a little different. You're just buying pre-delivered packages and then reselling them. All right, we should be back in court any moment now. We're about 2 minutes late. I'm not a minimalist, especially when it comes to electronics. I can't. First of all, I'm not in a financial position to be able to drop 20 grand on a truckload of someone else's mail. I'm not in a place to have a truckload of someone else's mail delivered anywhere. I don't have that spot. But the idea of that happening is very intriguing for me. I'm to minimize the free space on his desk. Yes, I'll need a bigger desk first and then minimize the space. Scott is a maximist, so together we're like an averagist. This is true. All right, hope you guys had a great lunch. I did. 3 corn dogs. Delicious. And I had a cheese stick as well, and maybe some yogurt. Not all at the same time because those don't go well together. I guess the cheese stick and the corn dogs can be okay, but the yogurt was like separate. John's like, great, now I found a fire truck for sale from the local fire department for $5,000. Yes, they sell fire trucks there. They sell ATVs. They sell, imagine buying a truckload of junk mail. Yes, this is what you'll get for sure. But Lisa, it's not like just advertisements from the local car dealership about the latest sale. It's just packages. So there is a product, there's an item, there's something inside. Let's see, we are back. We're back. We're waiting right now. We'll be back here in just a minute. Let me check. Yep, we are back. Well, it's right there. Anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. Just found auction for Judicial Drug Task Force. Oh, man. That's crazy. Michelle Mo, member for 9 months. Congratulations. Love this community. R is my favorite channel. Michelle Mo, thank you for the kind words. Love that you're here. Wouldn't be the same without you. Welcome. Congratulations on 9 months. They look through it and get out the good stuff. No way I would buy that. Virginia, most do. The only way you can guarantee they don't is through the United States Post Office. You have to buy it direct from them, and they only sell it in truckload quantities. And by truckload, I'm not talking pickup truck. I'm talking semi-truck. Like, here you are bidding on 22 pallets of undelivered mail of all sizes, and it weighs 3 tons, 4 tons, whatever. And of course, I'd be bidding against the companies that do buy it, pick through it, and then resell smaller bundles of it. Okay, we're coming back. Here we go. We've got lip gloss on. We are ready to begin. Just waiting for the judge to come in. Oh.
After Detective Sergeant Richardson, we have one more trooper before Amy Nolan, who is quite long testimony. And some of her testimony involves physical evidence being brought in. And so we wanted, if the court's okay with about a 5-minute break between Sam and Amy, so that Ms. Johnson can look at all of the physical evidence and determine whether she's stipulating before we have to present it to the witness.
That would be great. And what, you take 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
And Judge, one other thing, I got some comments during lunch that it was difficult to hear you in the gallery when you were reading the stipulations, and so hopefully that's not the same for the jury as well, but I just wanted to give that feedback.
Okay. We're back on the record in State versus Joseph Ferlazzo Jr. Those last comments were in that case after a lunch break, about 1:08 p.m. now. The testimony of Detective Sergeant Richardson as soon as the jury comes in.
This sound system has what's called a noise gate that is terrible.
Jury is all present now after lunch. I'll ask the questions I always ask. Did anybody learn anything new about this case or anything about this case while at lunch? Seeing all shakes of the head no. With that, we'll resume the testimony of Detective Richardson, who is still under oath. And I think we're on cross, Ms. Johnson?
We are. Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, Detective Richardson.
Good afternoon.
I believe before lunch, when Ms. George was questioning you, she had asked you if you had recently reviewed or viewed the interview video.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure. So,
ma'am, I reviewed the video that she was referencing, not the entire. Over. Okay.
That's fine. I understand. Thank you. Do you recall at the beginning of the interview, Mr. Ferlazzo saying, "I haven't really eaten much and I've been up for days"?
Yes, I do.
And then he followed that up by saying, "My mind isn't right." Do you recall that?
I remember something to that effect, yes.
Okay. Did you or Detective Boris didn't inquire further as to what he meant by that, did you?
No.
You had no concerns at that point that he might not be able to provide an accurate account of what happened because he was saying at the outset, "My mind isn't right." Is that correct?
Yes.
That was a long question, sorry. And at various points during the interview, Mr. Ferlazzo stated that he was really tired, correct?
I don't know how many times he stated it, but yeah, I know that he stated at least once that he was tired.
Fine, thank you. Do you recall about an hour into the interview, roughly, Mr. Ferlazzo said, "I'm just really tired. I don't know what day it is now. I'm not able to have a clear thought." Do you recall that?
Not specifically, no, I don't.
Okay. Would it help if I showed you the transcript to refresh your recollection?
Sure, yes.
Okay. So I'm going to show you. Oh, I haven't marked it. Sorry.
It's the preference A.
going to show you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit A, and I'm going to give you the page and the lines where that particular section is located. All right. So, I'm going to show you, this is a transcript of the entire first segment of the interview, and this is page 32, and it's lines 11 through 13, and yeah, that's, take a look at that.
Question?
I just asked if you recall saying that at that point in the interview. So.
Right. Can you reference what he said, what you're asking me?
Sure. Sorry about that. So I asked you if you recall about an hour into the interview, Mr. Ferlazzo saying, "I'm just really tired." I believe you also referenced something about falling into a hole, and I don't know what day it excuse me, it is now. I'm not able to have a clear thought.
Yes.
Thank you. And again, looks like there was no concern about resuming the interview, no concern that he wasn't able to provide accurate information. Is that correct?
Correct.
Do you recall, Joseph, at one point, Mr. Ferlazzo was being asked to provide more details about what happened on Friday and early Saturday, and he said, "All I can remember is like a jumble. It was basically like flashes, like if you go to a disco and look up and there's nothing."
Yes, I do.
Okay. Again, that type of jumble and flashes did not concern you as far as the way he was thinking?
Excuse me, it didn't, because before and after he gave other accounts of the way he was feeling and felt at the time, which made sense to me.
Okay, thank you. About an hour and 10 minutes into the interview, do you recall Mr. Ferlazzo suddenly putting his head down and suddenly asking for water?
I don't.
Okay. At that point, you don't recall that you and Detective Boris, when he put his head down and asked for water, both of you did in fact say, "Okay, we'll get you some water," and then you left.
I don't remember that, no.
All right. And Detective Truex came in, so I'm guessing on the video at that point, he was hyperventilating and crying. So you did not witness that, is that accurate?
No.
Okay. And then the questioning resumed roughly 15 minutes, roughly, after that. Correct? It resumed after you.
Yes, it resumed after, yes.
Thank you. You drafted a report detailing the actions that you took on the case between October 19th, 2021 and October 21st, 2021, correct?
Yes.
And in the report, you stated that the interview of Mr. Ferlazzo on the 19th of October 2021 occurred in multiple segments over several hours in various locations within and outside the barracks, correct?
Yes. Yep.
The first segment, I'll just reference it the way you did, that was the initial interview with some breaks, understandably, but the initial interview, which took approximately 2.5 hours, is that accurate?
Yeah.
Let's see, and I think at that point, it looks like, so the interview ended at that point, that segment, at about 5 o'clock. Is that correct?
I mean, I can't confirm that. I mean, yeah, I mean, that sounds accurate.
At that point, I think you and Detective Morris left and Mr. Ferlazzo laid down on the floor. Do you recall that?
Yes, I remember him laying down.
Okay. And although we can't tell, it's assumed that he was probably sleeping, but he was laying down on the floor whether he was sleeping or not, correct?
Yes, he was laying down on the floor.
Okay. And then at about 6 or 10 minutes of 6, after he'd been laying on the floor, he was moved to a holding cell, correct?
Yes.
And then the next interaction with Mr. Ferlazzo was approximately 8:10. And I think you and Detective Morris woke him up to see if he was okay. And then at that point, took him outside the barracks for a cigarette, correct?
Yes.
Thank you, Amy. Congratulations on 20 months.
We brought him back into the holding cell around 8:15 and he laid back down, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And then at about 9:18, you and Detective Morris woke him up again, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I'm confirming that we did wake him up. I can't verify the times, but yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm referring to times. If you would like, yeah, we can always look at it, but... and then you did have at that point, you wanted to ask him a few more things and asked him if he was willing to answer more questions, correct?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. He was groggy at that point, correct?
No, I wouldn't say groggy.
Okay. As alert as he was previously, or?
Yeah, I would say so.
And you told him again that you had some additional questions. I believe you also gave him the option of going back to the interview room or remaining in the holding cell, correct?
James asked him, gave him the choice.
It was hard to tell since that was audio. All right, thank you. And do you recall Joseph responding by stating, "I'm just trying to let my mind rest"?
Yes.
Okay. But at that point, you resumed the questioning, correct?
Yeah.
And I believe that lasted about another 20 minutes, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I have no further questions. Thank you.
No redirect, Judge.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're all set.
I think we're at the finale part of the fireworks from the booming in the background.
Solemnly affirm that the evidence you shall give relative to the cause found in consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth, under the pains and penalties of grace. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can you please state your name and spell your last name?
Yep, my name's Samuel Truex, Truex.
The acoustics are not great in this room, so if you can keep your voice up so that the back jurors can hear you.
Okay.
Can you tell us how you are currently employed?
I am currently retired from the Vermont State Police.
Okay, and when did you retire?
November 30th of this year.
Okay. And how long had you been employed at the Vermont State Police?
Over 26 and a half years.
All right, so
He's
you were
been
employed
retired
with
for
them
a
in
week and a half.
October of 2021?
Yes, I was.
And at some point, did you become involved in the investigation related to Emily Ferlazzo?
Yes, on Tuesday, October 19th, 2021.
Okay. And how did you become involved?
Detective Lieutenant John Paul Schmidt asked me to respond to the St. Albans barracks and said that there was a missing person complaint that was suspicious in nature.
Okay. And upon arrival at the barracks, were you given a specific task?
I was given a couple tasks. One was to sit in on the interview with Joseph Ferlazzo.
Okay. And during that, did you have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Ferlazzo yourself?
Yes, I did.
And the jury has seen the video, so are you the individual that sort of comes in during the breaks and sits with Mr. Ferlazzo?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And the first time that you went into the interview room, was Mr. Ferlazzo eating?
Yes, he was.
And did you ask him if he needed anything?
I believe Amy got him lunch, and then Seth was in the process of getting him some hot coffee at his request.
Okay. And at any point, did you ask him if he needed anything else?
He asked me, or he told me he had to go to the bathroom at one point, so I escorted him down the hall to the bathroom and back.
Okay. And at one point during the interview, Mr. Ferlazzo asked you to stay in the room with him?
Yes, he asked me if I'd sit down and stay in there with him.
Okay. Were you planning on doing that anyway?
I wasn't, but I agreed to do that.
Okay. And did you have a conversation with him during that time?
Yes.
And who initiated that conversation?
I think he initiated it.
Okay. Did he ask you questions about taking him somewhere?
He made a comment. He asked me if we're going to take him someplace so he can't do that again.
Okay. And how did you respond?
I don't recall exactly what my response was.
Okay. What are some of the other things that you talked about with Mr. Ferlazzo?
He just asked me generally about myself, the police. We talked about, I asked him questions about being a tattoo artist, what was his favorite part. He asked me what my favorite part of being a police officer was. He asked kind of about like the team of detectives and how things worked, where everybody was assigned. We talked about his dog Remington. I told him that Remington was at his friend Jason's house and that the dog was okay being there, but he probably would have to make arrangements for long term.
At any point, did you have you ever sat in on interviews like this before in your career?
Yes.
Have you interviewed people who have been charged with murder before?
I have.
And at any point during your interactions with Mr. Ferlazzo, did you have any concerns about his ability to be engaging in a conversation with the police?
No, our conversation went both ways. He was actually very cordial and nice to me, and he asked questions, I asked questions of him. It was just a give and take.
Okay. And at some point, were you able to find him a cigarette at his request?
Yeah, he asked for a cigarette. I asked one of the detectives who brought one in, and then we brought him outside for a cigarette break, I think on 2 different occasions.
Okay. And he made some comments about possible self-harm. Do you recall that?
Yeah, at one point he said he wished someone would take him out. And I had said to him that if you have any thoughts of hurting yourself, you need to let me know. He says, well, if I had a gun, I would do it. But I don't have a weapon, so I can't. All I have is this hot coffee.
And again, did him making those comments give you any concerns about his ability to continue to engage in a conversation?
No, I was just concerned for my safety, being in the room with him, and just for his own safety as well.
Okay. And when you would leave the room and come back in, did he recall who you were?
Yes.
Did he recall you by name?
Yes. When I left after, well, he was still eating, he just said, "Thank you, Sam,"
okay.
When I stepped out of the room.
And when you'd come back in the room, did he recall your name?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever feel like he wasn't responding to your questions appropriately?
No.
At any time that he asked for anything, did you get him what he asked for? Or did anytime he asked for food or drinks?
Yeah, if he needed food, if he wanted another hot coffee, to use the bathroom, another cigarette, we were very accommodating.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Ms. James.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So, you've described kind of almost like a switch flipping back and forth between engaging in small talk with Mr. Ferlazzo and him expressing concerns about, or him becoming upset. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
And both of those occurred during your interactions with him, right?
Yes.
You do recall him saying at least once that his brains were scrambled, don't you?
Yes.
And that he was not thinking clearly. You recall that as well?
Yeah, he said that he needed to talk to an expert that could help him because of his an expert in scrambled brains.
Scrambled brains.
Yes.
And you responded by saying, yes, we have people you can talk to.
Yes.
And he never did talk to any kind of mental health person after he was processed, did he?
I don't know if he did.
But that's what you told him would be available to him, correct?
Yes, and I said that we, as in like the state of Vermont corrections, have that access for that, yes.
You observed that he, at one point, started hyperventilating, correct? Breathing like this.
I know what that is. I was just trying to recall. I haven't seen the video. And
you didn't? I'm sorry?
I didn't review the video before coming here.
Okay.
I don't have access.
And you don't have a recollection of being in the room when that happened?
I feel like I remember him crying or starting to cry a couple times.
Sobbing.
Sobbing? Yes.
And you said to him, are you okay, right?
I did ask him if he was okay, and he told me he was not.
He was not. That's what he said. I'm not okay.
Yes. And I told him that he's going to have to take it one day at a time, that it's going to take time.
So you were, correct me if I'm wrong, trying to calm him down. Is that a fair assessment of the kinds of things you were saying to him?
I was just trying to reassure him.
Reassure him about what?
Just the traumatic incident that he's involved in, just the kind of things are going to be okay, trying to just keep a steady.
He also said to you that more than once, what happens next? Because he seemed to be unfamiliar with the process. Do you remember that?
I don't recall exactly.
Okay. And you were aware that the interview was being live streamed to another room, correct?
Yes.
So he was under observation by other law enforcement the entire time, correct?
Yes, he was.
So even if you didn't observe his complete, I'm going to call it meltdown, he was being observed, correct?
And that was all recorded in that room as well.
In that room?
Yes.
One moment, please, Judge. Thank you. I don't have any other questions for you.
Okay.
Any redirect?
No, Judge.
Thank you. You're all set.
All right, I think we get a little break here.
All right.
5 or 10 minutes.
Next witness, there may be a number of exhibits, so we have to gather them and discuss them a little bit, but we'll be back with you probably 10 minutes. We'll need to go through them, so we'll excuse you to the jury room again and come back as soon as we can.
All rise.
Are we going to get audio back and listen to the argument back and forth, or do we go to break? Going to turn that down until something happens. Rest our ears a little bit. All right. Defense is focusing on those things he said that gave some indication that things were not okay during interrogation. That mentally he was having a tough time, or that he was not in a good spot, or things wasn't thinking clearly, or he was too tired, or he needed professional help. These are all good things to focus on, because it can possibly cast into doubt his ability to think clearly and answer clearly. The problem is everything he said during the interview matched up with the actual evidence. The saw was where he said the saw was. The guns were where he said the guns were. The body was where he said it was. The evidence was exactly as he stated it. So, although he might be distressed because reality is coming and hitting him right in the face with a 2x4, I would say he was very, very clearly. He was thinking clearly. He was stating things as they were. He was expressing himself accurately. He was a little distraught. I don't think this is going to be enough to try to throw out any of these confessions, or even to give the jury pause to consider whether or not this was anything other than a totally voluntary confession. Where he flips it on and off, I do think it can appear to be what is that, malingering? I think that he's possibly acting a little bit, but doesn't work that way. I'm just going to kill that high-pitched squealing noise so our ears can rest. Total malingering. The thing that was constant throughout here that sort of surprised me is he did express regret. But he expressed regret for the overall situation, in that, he didn't think that she could push him this far, and to this, and regret that he's not able to say goodbye to his dog. He's like, changed my life in 30 seconds is what happened to me. This whole thing was just wild and crazy. But there's nothing where he comes out and says, I wish I hadn't done that. Yeah, I just fixed everyone's tinnitus. You're welcome. I cured it. It's magic. Can't regret the crime and also dismember a body. You wouldn't be able to get your hands dirty that way. Let me find the frequency that I know you guys aren't going to like this, but I'm going to turn the sound on just for a second. I'm going to see if I can find that frequency and edit it out. It's about 1,000K, roughly. Okay. I'll keep that clipped out. All right. MRI is over for a bit. Round 2 coming up in just a minute. How is he claiming self-defense? Brenda, he's now saying that the story was completely different, and now he's remembering what actually happened. What are we waiting on? Are they late or something? No, they're going over some exhibits. They're trying to see if they can get to some stipulations, which we are great about stipulations because it speeds up court, makes things faster. You can skip all of the foundational stuff, the testimony, and then admitting the process of admitting and objecting and reviewing. If they can just stipulate to a bunch of testimony, a bunch of either documents or physical evidence or photographs or something like that, it'll be a lot quicker. So we'll give them this 5-10 minutes to get that sorted out. Sinbad, Joseph and Emily are viewable on, I think both of their Facebook pages are still up. If you search for their names, you can find them and you can see pictures of them together. What I can tell you about the guy trying to deliver the truck of dead bodies on Friday, I think he had some mental issues. There were no dead bodies in the truck. They checked. There was nothing. We also have breaking news in the New York case, the United Healthcare assassination case. They've made an arrest. They've named the suspect. I think it was Luigi something, but he's been arrested. Ivy League, anti-capitalist. People are going through his social media accounts trying to pick out, what drove him to do what he did. Apparently was in possession of a manifesto. We'll see how much of that actually fleshes out what's true and what isn't. But they picked him up at McDonald's. Yes, they did. Mr. Opatorso says he carved his message onto the bullets and left Monopoly money in a bag. There's a manifesto. Yeah, there's more to that one. Good luck, AZ. Hope you enjoy the proceeding. You're doing good work. So we have just a couple minutes here to rest our ears. If you guys have any questions, I'll try to answer them. There's the name. Thank you, Amber. Is it Luigi Magnon? Magnon? It's sort of French with pronunciation there, but it looks more Italian with Luigi. My Italian pronunciation is not good. He was recognized by an employee who called it in. He was found to have fake ID with the same fake name used at the New York City hostel, shared hotel. Hopefully that employee at McDonald's gets the reward. There's, a $60,000 reward there? I hope they pay it out to him, because that's probably more than that McDonald's employee is going to make in a year at McDonald's. Judy, I have a question. Why does YouTube hate me? I don't know, Judy. I don't know. YouTube just does YouTube things. Maggioni, Luigi Maggioni, like that. Is that how you say it? DSN gifted a membership. Thank you very much, Andrew Hansen. You were the lucky winner. Reward only comes if it leads to a successful conviction. I thought it was information leading to the arrest of the suspect. Virginia, I don't know. I don't know why. It's not liking longtime members for some reason. I don't know why. DSN, thanks for the super sticker. Love it. Thank you very much. Let's see. What does manifesto mean in regard to the incident? Usually it's a long written opinion justifying their actions and, It's like a brain dump for people who are often a little bit off balance. So Mario called him in. Weather Watch, that is a comment of the afternoon right here. Mario called in Luigi. Yes. That's funny. Let's see. Culperistic says, here's what I'm interested in knowing. Is court allowed to ask potential jurors about if they've been denied medical coverage from an insurance company, or do they have their right to medical privacy? If the case involved those facts, I think they would be allowed to ask generally. Realize the jurors have to answer the questions, and some of them are incredibly invasive questions. I mean, like even they could ask, have you ever been the victim of SA? Have you ever, tell me about that. They can ask very intrusive questions. The only remedy that's really offered for the juror is to request to answer in private, where just the suspect, the accused, the defense, prosecution, and the judge would be able to listen. So the rest of the jury would not be listening. But yeah, they can ask pretty much anything if it's relevant to the case. Now, of course, they can't give out facts of the case in the questioning, though. All right. Yeah, this is an interesting case, the New York City shooter situation, because so many people feel they have been wronged by insurance companies. There are very few people, customers of insurance companies that say yes every time I say, hey, pay for this, pay for that, and they're like, they always do. Most people don't experience that. Most people have experienced denials or fights or delays, and there was quite a bit of sympathy for the cause the shooter appeared to be supporting. I would say that his choice of actions is not right, even if what insurance companies do is wrong. You can't have two wrongs to make a right. Yeah. I agree with a lot of the sentiments being shared here. Yeah, his social media profiles are still up, so you can find a ton of stuff. Quotes he liked. I think we're coming back here. Defendant's back.
All right, I should be able to deal with this without my computer.
Yeah.
How are we doing?
We're doing great, Judge. There's no objections to any of the physical evidence, and the state has a lot of photographs. I believe the only objection on any of those is maybe reassessing an objection about the body, the pictures of Mr. Ferlazzo.
Right.
So, but I'm sort of hopeful we can just do all of that now, and then we can just present all the evidence that's stipulated.
I mean,
aside from those.
Ms. Jantz wants to bring that all up again in front of the jury one way or another. Let's get that done. Okay, so which exhibit numbers would you like? The 30s, the ones, or are there some before that you want to address?
25 to 36.
this right now? Or can we move that at this point? Oh, you're going to use that for all these exhibits?
Yeah.
It's just, I'm sorry I can't see you, Ms. Johnson.
Yeah. I can move it back.
Can you, just at least for now, while we're talking about this, and then we can move
Just
it
to
back.
clarify, Judge, do you want us to renew the grounds for the objection to exhibits 22 to 36?
Well, you can renew it for the reasons already stated, or if there's anything you wish to add to those reasons, you may bring that up now.
Renewing it for the reason. Go ahead.
Just renewing it, Judge.
All right.
Same objection.
Is there anything specific in my order? I did mention other things regarding specific tattoos that were reflected. Do you care if those come in? No? So the only exhibit I thought about, if I can get it back up. And I don't think, gotta find it. 32, maybe.
34. What number is that? 32, 33, 34. 32.
No, 32 is not the one I'm thinking of.
32 is one.
Bit Bite Me, welcome. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're struggling on this one. It's bad audio all around.
I think it's
He almost said
31. The kind of close-up of the chest and stomach area. It seemed to me another picture got it from a little further back without it being quite so suggestive. And I wondered if we that one.
Okay, there may be a lot of pictures shown here that are quite graphic.
Are you asking me, Your Honor?
Well, no, I finally got the picture up.
Which number is it, Judge?
It's 31. It's not, again, it's another picture which shows the whole body. It shows a touch more than the far off picture, which I think might have been 30. Let me see. Can I get the pictures for a second? I'm not getting them all on. Is it 30 that is the whole? No, it was 29. I thought that captured it okay, and I didn't. 31 seemed to be was a close-up of 29. I really don't think any of them, though, are prejudicial in the sense of unfairly prejudicial that 403 speaks of. They're just pictures of his body.
Judge, the reason I specifically also picked that one is because during the interview, he's pointing to that particular area and indicating that he might have an injury there. So that was a specific choice made so that the jury has a closer up view of that area.
I'm going to allow them then for the reasons already indicated in my order.
If Your Honor would note my objection, our original objection.
We have in mind your original objection. My understanding, though, is there's nothing specific to any of the tattoos that are reflected on the pictures that's problematic. Other exhibits that you wanted to discuss?
No, nothing else, Judge.
So there's nothing else no other photographs? Would you approach for 1 minute?
Okay, so the judge just went over. The judge wanted to possibly restrict one of the pictures that's probably the front torso area of the defendant, and I'm not sure why. But apparently all of them are coming in, so we're going to see all the pictures that were taken of the defendant, sort of as the camera saw it, or the still camera saw it while we watched in the interrogation room. So I guess this next witness will also be sponsored by Fruit of the Loom or whoever, because he's in his undies in the pictures. Why do we need to see these? Particularly, this is going to go to the truthfulness of the defendant in stating there was a fight and he was the victim. He was attacked by Emily, to show if there were any injuries on his body, as he said that she was beating him around about the neck and the head and kicked in the groin. Obviously, that one doesn't show up very well on camera, thankfully. But his story that he's saying now is that she was attacking him physically and that he defended himself. So a tattoo may be an issue. Apparently some of the artwork might be, well, they were worried that was somewhat prejudicial. The judge said it wasn't. So we'll see here in a moment. The defendant is pretty much locked in this position. I don't know what he's staring at, but this is how he sits the entire trial. I have not caught him glancing over to where I presume the jury is located. Like, I don't know if he's made eye contact with them at all. Even when they walk in and walk out, he doesn't even glance over there. Maybe he learned from the ballerina trial. Denise, thank you very much. We're glad to be here in Vermont with you, at least virtually. Yeah, where did you get hit with the Yankee Candle? Shouldn't there be some marks from that? Maybe some bruising? We'll see.
Ready for the jury?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, let's bring them in.
We will bring the jury.
We will bring the jury.
Are there any stipulations coming in?
All right, do you want them now?
You don't have to. You can do it, whatever's easiest for you in conducting your examination.
See where everyone else's eyes go as the jury comes in? And he sort of looks like he's sort of going straight forward.
Please be seated. Hey, want to record in State versus Joseph Ferlazzo Jr., 21 CR 8967. The parties have had an opportunity to meet and discuss various exhibits, and I think we're ready to proceed. Ms. George.
Thank you, Judge. The state would call Amy Nolan.
Next witness, Amy Nolan. This is going to be a lengthy one. I believe she was the photographer or the crime scene investigator that took the pictures of his body.
I solemnly affirm that the evidence you shall give relative to the cause now under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury. Thank you.
Does perjury hurt? Asking for a friend. Roro, that's great news. Thank you, thank you.
The acoustics in this room are not good.
Okay.
So if you can keep your voice up so the jurors in the back can hear you, that would be appreciated.
Oh, Roro, thanks for generosity, too.
Telling us your name and spelling your last name. Actually, in your case, can you spell your first name as well?
Certainly. It's Amy, spelled A-I-M-E-E. Last name Nolan, N-O-L-A-N.
Okay. And did you formally work for Vermont State Police?
I did.
Okay. And are you now retired?
I am.
When did you retire?
October of 2023.
Okay.
Can parties approach for 1 minute?
This judge keeps calling sidebars. I'm not sure why. Let's crank the volume way down during this. I have a suspicion when it comes to YouTube and the gifted memberships, and they're literally, I think they literally follow the drug dealer method. The first one's free to try to get you hooked. YouTube is very focused on helping content creators make more money, and I think their gift memberships early and then make people buy it themselves model is structured to try to get people to pay. I don't like that. I really don't. Not happy. I wish that was a setting I could turn off and just make it completely random, but it doesn't seem to be random. So, that being said, I don't think they're going to change it anytime soon. It is a little bit frustrating. It seems more random at the beginning when people are new to the channel, but I think the algorithm is structured to try to draw them in and make them want to then pay themselves if they were gifted memberships. Not happy. Culperistic. I don't look at things differently. Obviously, a super chat message I feel deserves to be put on the screen. But I do, flag me, and I don't care if your name's in gray or green. I don't care what color the courthouse is.
October of 2021?
Correct.
Okay. And what was your rank at the time?
Detective Sergeant.
Okay. And was that your rank at the time of retirement?
Yes.
Okay. And what was your assignment with the Vermont State Police at that time?
I was the assistant commander of the crime scene search team for the Vermont State Police.
Okay. And can you just tell us what that sort of generally means?
Sure. The crime scene search team is a team of 20 members and 2 commanders. We respond to homicides, officer-involved shootings, and other questionable death investigations. And the team specializes in processing the crime scene, collecting evidence.
Okay. Approximately how many crime scenes and death investigations have you participated in?
Well over 150.
And in mid-October, October 15th or 16th of 2021, were you made aware of an investigation related to Emily Ferlazzo?
I was not notified until the morning of October 19th.
Okay. So prior to that, you were not involved in the case?
No.
Okay. And what information were you provided on October 19th?
I received a call from the Major Crimes Unit Supervisor. One of the lieutenants advised that there was a new case, requesting my presence at the St. Albans Barracks for a briefing later that morning.
Okay. And did you, in fact, attend that briefing?
I did.
And what further information did you learn?
Excuse me. At that point, I learned that the state police was notified the prior day of a missing person, Emily Ferlazzo, that there were some suspicious circumstances surrounding that, that Mr. Ferlazzo, Emily's husband, had told a friend that he had killed her, and that the state police had seized a camper van as well as a Jeep that belonged to Mr. Ferlazzo.
Okay. And so what was your sort of plan or task for the day?
Initially, there was a lot of waiting around, learning new information as it was found. The search warrant was being worked on to be able to search the van and the Jeep. So I took it upon myself to sort of scour the internet, social media pages for both Emily and Joseph Ferlazzo, trying to find acquaintances that we might be able to interview, seeing if anyone had posted any comments or anything we could learn about Emily's potential whereabouts.
Okay. And at some point, did you take a break to go get food?
I had had lunch, but to be honest, I'd had enough coffee that morning, so I decided to go to the store, knowing it was going to be a late night. I wanted an energy drink and some snacks for the team once they got there. So I believe it was around 2 in the afternoon. I did leave the barracks and go to a local convenience store.
Okay. And what was that convenience store called?
Maple Fields.
Okay. And that was in St. Albans?
Yes.
All right. And who did you go there with?
One of the other team members that had arrived at the barracks, Brandon Gallant.
Okay. And who drove?
I did.
What did you drive? What vehicle did you drive?
I drove my state-issued cruiser, if you will.
Okay. And can you describe that vehicle?
Sure. It's an F-150 truck with an extra cab and an extended bed on it, so it's a rather large vehicle.
Okay. How many seats are in the vehicle?
Technically, seating for 6. It was a bench seat in the front and a bench seat in the back, but my back seat was full of equipment, and then in the front seat, I usually kept the center console folded down for like a drink holder, things like that. So most comfortably 2, impossibly 3.
Okay. And is there a secure area of this vehicle like many police cruisers?
No.
Okay. So the entire inside of it is accessible?
Open, correct.
Okay. Does it have any sort of Vermont State Police insignia on it?
No, completely unmarked.
What were you wearing that day?
I was wearing my crime scene uniform, which is a pair of cargo style, I'd say tan pants, a green polo shirt with the state police emblem, and it said CSST on it, but that was covered with a plain black fleece, so I didn't have any obvious markings of the state police on my person that day.
And you weren't wearing a state trooper uniform that we've all seen?
No, I was not.
Okay. How far away is the Maple Fields from the St. Albans Barracks?
It's approximately a mile down the road.
Okay. So can you tell the jury what happened when you pulled into the Maple Fields?
Sure. Due to the size of the truck, it wasn't practical to park in sort of a normal parking spot, if you will. The back end of the vehicle would stick out several feet. So I often chose to park, not in a parking spot, along a parking lot edge or something like that. So as I pulled in to the entrance to the store, I had my eye on a spot where I wanted to park sort of parallel to the road. Well away from parking spots. I noticed a male was just sort of nonchalantly walking right where I wanted to park. So I was, I can't remember if I muttered it or if I just thought under my breath, like, oh my gosh, hurry up, that's where I want to park. So I sort of slowly crawled behind the person until they diagonally cut across and went into the store.
Okay. And so once you entered the store, where did you immediately go?
Right to the back of the store where the coolers are located. That's where the energy drinks were.
Okay. And as you're walking towards the back of the store, did you notice anything?
I noticed that same male. I had sort of given him a nickname in my head of Hoodie because he was wearing his hood up. It was chilly that morning. And I noticed that same male that I had waited to move out of my way so I could park was also at the coolers. He had walked right to the back of the store as well.
Okay, and what was he doing?
He was getting a drink out of the cooler and sort of stepping back from the cooler at that time.
Did you recognize the male?
When he closed the door to the cooler and he turned around and we made eye contact, I was like, wait, I know this person. In that moment, I couldn't figure out where or why. My brain was still trying to catch up with me. But I knew I recognized him.
Okay. And did you ultimately determine how you recognized him?
Yeah, so he walked to the right and then turned to walk up to one of the aisles towards the front of the store, and he turned and looked at me again. And we locked eyes again, and at that point, I recognized that it was Joseph Ferlazzo.
Okay.
Wow, she just
and
ran into him
at the convenience
store.
So I had spent, like I said, a lot of that morning sort of scouring through social media. I had seen dozens of pictures of Mr. Ferlazzo as well as Emily. And then also our public information officer for the state police was at the barracks that morning. He was preparing a press release that he was getting ready to put out with photos, which included Mr. Ferlazzo, and he had asked me to proofread that for him just before I went to the store. So it was like another look at Mr. Ferlazzo's face right before I left.
Okay. And where did that mail go?
Up to the front of the store to the cash register area.
Okay. And so what was the next thing you did with that information?
I told Brandon that's Joseph Ferlazzo. He's heading out of the store. I'm going to follow him.
Okay. And are you aware that this interaction with Mr. Ferlazzo was recorded?
Yes.
Okay. And how was it recorded?
Through the Maplefield surveillance video system.
Okay. And have you reviewed those?
I have seen those videos, yes.
Judge, I have a stipulation for the court. States 120, stipulation number 5.
So I was told my voice was not quite loud enough last time, perhaps for some of you, so I'm going to read a little louder this time. Stipulation number 5, members of the jury, the state and defendant Joseph Ferlazzo have agreed that you may find certain facts. This is called a stipulation. A member of the Vermont State Police collected surveillance video from the Maple Fields gas station in St. Albans, Vermont, from October 19, 2021. That surveillance video was added to the case file and reviewed by Detective Sergeant Amy Nolan. The authenticity of the surveillance video is not being challenged. Chain of custody of the surveillance video is also not being challenged. As with any evidence in this trial, you must decide what weight you will give this stipulation. And that's Exhibit States 120, and no objection to that being admitted?
No objection.
Admitted without objection.
The state would next move to admit States 23, which is the first Maple Fields video.
No objection.
States 23 is admitted without objection. I don't think that was for. Go back here. States 23 is admitted without objection.
Thank you, Judge.
pretty good convenience store footage. They're like, yeah, that's him. That's the guy. That's the guy. I'll make the call.
At some point in the video, you appear to look at your phone. Can you just tell the jury what you're doing?
Yes, I feel like my body language is pretty clear at the moment that I recognize him, and I turn back around, I take my phone out, I say something to the trooper I was with, and I take my phone out because I'm looking for that press release to show the picture to Brandon and to sort of confirm my suspicions that it was Joseph Ferlazzo.
Okay. And is there another angle of this same sort of interaction within Maple Fields?
There is.
Oh, let's watch that.
Judge, the state would move to admit States 24, second Maple Fields video.
No objection.
This seems like the roomiest convenience store I've ever seen.
24 is admitted without objection.
Everyone I go into is like every bit of floor space is covered with. Oh yeah, we're now hovering over the chip aisle. I think these are sunflower seeds right in front of us. Guys, regarding the audio, just imagine you're watching a really long fireworks show during court. And you just say ooh and ah now and then, and it will be fine. It will be fine. Yeah, so he looks over, sees the badge on the shirt of the trooper. He's like, are you following me? Clearly suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Everybody headed down to the Monster Energy drink cooler. I'm like, yep, that's him. That's him. All right, let's head to the door. Forget the drinks for now. We'll come back for them later. The fireworks are not done. And now you're getting commentary on the case, Adam. So.
So after seeing who you believe to be Mr. Ferlazzo in the Maple Fields, did you in fact follow him outside?
I did.
Okay, and did you approach him outside?
I followed behind him. He was walking along the front of the store.
Okay, and what did you do? What was your interaction?
I said, Joseph,
okay.
And the male kept walking, no acknowledgement. So then I said something to the effect of, hey, state police, can you stop for a second? I just need to talk to you.
Okay. And did the male stop?
He did.
Okay. And what did you do? Once the individual stopped, did they stop and actually turn around to face you and interact with you?
He did turn around and then took a very long, almost exaggerated drink of his energy drink, just looking at me, sort of the proverbial deer in the headlight look. It seemed to me, based on my training and experience, it was almost as if he were trying to figure out, fight, flight, freeze, what do I do?
Okay. And what did you say to him?
I said, Joseph, it's you, right? Are you okay?
Okay. And what did he do in reply?
He took his drink down, and his body language sort of deflated, and he said, "No, I'm not okay."
And what do you mean? Can you describe what you mean by his body language deflated?
Sure. As he was looking at me taking that drink, he seemed, quite tense again, sort of deer in the headlights. Do I run? Do I freeze? Do I fight? And he just sort of relaxed, if you will. Like, I visibly saw his shoulders drop and his head kind of dropped a little bit, and he just said, "No, I'm not okay."
Okay. How far away from you was he when you first said state police?
Probably 10 feet, approximately.
All right. And what did you, after he said, "No, I'm not okay," how did you respond to that?
I said, well, there's a lot of people looking for you and looking for Emily, and we're just trying to figure out where Emily is and what's going on. Her family's very worried about her.
And what was his response?
"Let's go."
He said, "Let's go." Okay. And so what did you do?
I said, "Go where?" And he said, "Wherever you're taking me." And I said, "I'm not taking you anywhere. You're not under arrest, but if you want to come with me, I'll give you a ride to the barracks, and we can get a detective to talk to you."
Okay. And did he agree to that?
He did.
Okay. And
so this lady
did you
caught their
bring him
suspect
in your
number
vehicle?
one.
We started to walk back across the parking lot towards my truck, yes, and stopped about halfway across the parking lot.
Okay. And why did you stop halfway across?
There was a moment where I thought Mr. Ferlazzo might pass out. He seemed a little unsteady on his feet. I said, "You're okay." I asked his permission. I said, "If it's okay, I want to just put my hand on your shoulder." And I did. And I said, "I got you." I said, "You're okay. I'll get you to the barracks and you can talk to somebody."
Okay. Did he make any statements or respond to that in any particular way? Okay. And so did you bring him back to the barracks?
I did. The other thing that we did sort of in that halfway point was I asked him and explained before I could give him a ride. It was our sort of protocol that we had to pat somebody down for weapons before I could allow him in my cruiser with me, and also because I don't have a typical cruiser with what they call the cage in the back to separate the officer from a person that they've picked up for some reason. So he said that was fine. He indicated he had no weapon, so I patted him down real quick, and then I got into the driver's seat, and Brandon walked him across to the passenger seat.
Okay. Did Brandon also get in the car?
He did not.
Okay. Was that because there wasn't any room?
Yeah, I told him I would come back and pick him up.
Okay.
I didn't think we needed to sit three across the front seat.
She left the deputy
at
the gas
just
station.
You and Mr. Ferlazzo in the ride back to the barracks?
Correct.
And did you speak to him during that time about Emily?
Not about Emily. I asked him, like I said, it was cold that day. I asked him, "Are you cold?" He said he was. I turned the heat up. I said, "Have you been out all night?" Based on the interactions that I knew had occurred the night before, he said he had. I asked him if he, was thirsty, if he was hungry. He said he was. And so, again, I told him, I turned the heat up and I told him I would get him something to eat once we got back to the barracks.
Okay. How long were you in the truck with Mr. Ferlazzo?
Less than 5 minutes, probably.
Right. Did you see anything on the way to the barracks that sparked a conversation?
Yes, there was. So at one point in the video, as I start to walk towards the front of the store, I turned to Brandon and I told him to call dispatch to let them know what was happening. So that message had gotten relayed, and there was a trooper coming to the store, lights and sirens.
Okay, and did Mr. Ferlazzo say anything related to that?
He didn't. I sort of chuckled and said, "I think they're looking for us." I said, "But we're good, right?" And we continued on, and I placed a call to my lieutenant at that time.
And Mr. Ferlazzo hear that conversation with your lieutenant?
Yes.
Okay. Did you make any other calls during that time?
I also actually, let me back up. Before calling my lieutenant, I got on the radio to dispatch, and I clarified, I am in the truck with Mr. Ferlazzo. All units can stand down. I'm headed to the barracks.
Okay. Do you have a recollection of what time you arrived at the barracks?
I would say it was probably, if this interaction was around 2, as I remember, I would say probably 2:15.
Okay.
Approximately.
And when you arrived at the barracks, where did you park?
I drove around to the back side of the barracks, into the gated parking area of the barracks.
Okay. And did Joseph get out of the car?
I can't remember. I think I walked around to his side of the truck and opened the door for him, if I recall correctly.
Okay. And did you ultimately get him into the police barracks?
Yes, the station commander of the barracks was outside waiting for us, and together we walked inside the building, yes.
Okay. And did he still have the drink that he bought at Maple Fields?
At that point, I believe he did, yes.
But did you had said earlier you told him you would get him some food and drinks. Did you do that?
Eventually, yes. After a short period of waiting for an interview and a detective to be ready for Mr. Ferlazzo, as this was obviously not planned, I returned back to the store and got a sandwich and some chips.
Okay. At any point in your interactions with Mr. Ferlazzo, did you ask him any questions about Emily?
I did not.
Okay. And is the person that you identified in Maple Fields as Mr. Ferlazzo and brought back to the barracks, is he in the courtroom today?
He is.
Can you just describe to the jury what he's wearing?
Certainly. He's sitting at the defendant's table wearing tan pants, a light gray shirt, and a black tie.
Okay. The state would request that the record reflect that's Mr. Ferlazzo.
They're directed.
Is it your understanding that he was then interviewed by Detective Sergeant Voris?
Yes.
Okay. And were you told at some point after what he indicated had happened to Emily?
In stages, yes.
Okay. And so did you become involved in this case in a sort of different capacity at some point?
Certainly. What I was there for initially, and that was in the role of crime scene search team.
Okay. What was the first thing you did related to that role?
Based on Mr. Ferlazzo's statement, where there had been an altercation, my first assignment, if you will, was to photograph Mr. Ferlazzo to see if we could detect any marks, bruises, scratches, anything like that.
Okay. And the jury has seen the interview room and this process happening.
Okay.
When you first went into the interview room to do this, did Mr. Ferlazzo indicate remembering you or give any indication that he remembered you?
Yes.
And did he remember you by name?
I don't recall if he remembered me by name.
Okay. And so did you in fact take photographs of his condition?
I did. I also collected what we call buccal swabs to get a DNA sample from Mr. Ferlazzo.
Okay. And Your Honor, the state would seek to admit states 25 through 36.
Okay.
For new early objections.
Objections as earlier noted, but they'll be admitted over objection. 25 through 36.
We're just going to go through the photographs, if you can just explain briefly what each one is.
Certainly. So this is what we would call an overview photograph with Mr. Ferlazzo. And because you can't really capture someone unless you're standing really far away, we take them in segments, so upper body, mid, and then lower body. Mr. Ferlazzo's hands, front and back.
Camera's overexposed.
This is Mr. Ferlazzo's upper body.
Little
It was
GQ
explained to him that we would like to take photographs without his clothes on, but not completely naked, again looking for marks or bruises. Was also offered to him, if I recall, being a female, if he wasn't comfortable. I did have another trooper with me that could take those photographs.
Oh, he was comfortable.
So this is the upper, I would say, torso of Mr. Ferlazzo. And face and upper chest, mid-chest and abdomen, upper legs, the backside of his legs, and front of his lower legs. This is a side, sort of more close-up photograph of his left side of his head and face. Full body back, upper back, I should say.
And did you note any injuries or observe any injuries or marks on his body?
There was one mark, and I remember asking him if, that was an injury or perhaps a birthmark. It was really hard to tell. I believe it was on the left side of the back of his head, sort of right in his hairline. So it was hard to detect. Other than that, I did not see any marks on his body.
Or bruises?
No.
Okay. And you did already state that you collected the DNA swabs?
Yes.
Do you recall, were those swabs from the cheek titled item 1A?
Yes.
Or 1. And were they brought to the lab for testing?
They were.
Okay. Did you also supervise the collection of evidence from the van in question?
I did.
And have you reviewed all of the photographs taken of the van?
I have.
Right. Judge, the state first has a stipulation. Number 6, states 121.
Yep.
I believe those pictures were 4 days after she went missing.
I'm here now. No objection. Thank you.
Stipulation number 6, members of the jury, the state and defendant, Joseph Ferlazzo, have agreed that you may find certain facts. This is called a stipulation. Members of the crime scene search team, in parentheses, CSST, end of parentheses, collected, tagged, photographed, and processed pieces of evidence during the search of the camper van.
It's laminated.
Pursuant to a valid search warrant. CSST supervisors Amy Nolan and Aaron McNeil oversaw the collection, tagging, photographing, and processing of all evidence collected from the camper van. These items were ultimately stored at the Vermont State Police Barracks in Williston. These items were the same condition upon arrival at the barracks as they were when collected from the camper van during the searches on October 19th, 2021 and October 20th, 2021. Chain of custody is not being challenged as it relates to these items. As with any evidence, in this trial, you must decide what weight you will give this stipulation. And that's State's Exhibit 121, admitted without objection.
What weight you will give this stipulation? Interesting.
And the state would first move to admit states 37, 38, and 39.
No objection.
On that right shoulder.
37 through 39 are admitted without objection.
Does it look like the tattoo?
Detective Sergeant Nolan, can
that's
you
the bus.
tell the jury what this photo is?
Certainly. This is a view of the right side, or if you're looking at the van from the front, the left side of the van that Mr. Ferlazzo and Emily were traveling in.
Okay. So these double doors on the right side here is the entrance?
Correct.
And this one?
This is the driver's side of the vehicle.
And
the rear.
Okay. Judge, the state would next move for states 40 through 75.
Okay, do you want to first give us 37 through 39 of your?
Yes.
I'll take them first. Any objection to 40 through 78?
No objection, thank you.
Exhibits 40 through 78 are admitted without objection.
So we're going to, the next group of photographs is from the inside of the van at the time of the search. What was the authority to search the van at the time?
We had a search warrant.
Okay. So I'm going to show you first states 40. Can you tell the jury what this is showing?
Sure. This is a photo of the entrance and the steps up into the van. What you're seeing is, I believe, like a bug net or mosquito net over the door once the double door was opened. It's hard to see up there, but you're looking to where the driver's seat would be, and there was a curtain up over the driver's door for privacy over the driver's window.
Okay. You described for the jury what this photo is of?
This is the bathroom of the van with several black household garbage bags on the floor of the shower.
Those are the bags that her body is in.
States 42.
Another view of the bathroom from a little further away. Another photo of the bags in the bathroom.
I don't know what they're going to show here.
Here the bags are numbered with placards that we use to identify our evidence items. So you're seeing 1 through 7. Here you're seeing items 1 through 8 laid out on butcher paper. The bags were taken out one at a time and placed onto butcher paper as we removed them and numbered them.
Okay. And is this how you refer to the bags moving forward, is by these numbers?
Correct.
Okay. States 46?
This is a 12-gauge shotgun that was located at the foot of the bed in the camper.
States 47?
This is looking at the head of the bed.
And so are these pillows?
Yes, these are bed pillows, the sheets, a blanket, a comforter perhaps, and then there was also a black duffel bag on the bed.
Okay.
This is a Glock firearm that was found underneath the pillows of the, I would say, front side of the bed. Again, standing at the foot of the bed, looking at it would be the left side of the bed.
Okay.
A more close-up image showing the Glock firearm.
Okay. And it's the 11 next door, next to it mean that it was labeled item 11?
Correct. Evidence item number 11.
Okay. And was there a magazine in this firearm?
There was.
There is.
And I guess first, can you describe to the jury what a magazine is?
Sure. A magazine is what holds the rounds of ammunition in a semi-automatic pistol like this. So the magazine sits up into the grip of the firearm, and that's, again, where the cartridges are held.
Okay. Do you know what the magazine capacity was?
It was a 15-round magazine, so it would hold 15 cartridges, excuse me.
Okay.
15 plus 1.
And were you able to tell how many rounds were in the magazine?
There were 9 in the magazine.
Right. And was there a round in the chamber?
There was.
Okay. And so was the round, the 15-round magazine with that was in the bullets, was in the firearm, was that labeled as 11A?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you what has been marked as 79 and 79, state 79 and 79A. each of these is?
Yes.
Okay. Can you just describe to the jury what each one is?
Yes. State 79, which is marked in our evidence system as number 48, is the Glock firearm shown in the pictures that was found under the pillows of the bed. And State 79A, which is marked item number 53 in our evidence system, is the magazine and the cartridges that were included in the magazine and the one in the chamber.
Okay. Are you able to open
I can,
79?
Because who needs gloves, right?
Yeah, if you could just show it to them. And were both of these items, the firearm and the magazine with the bullets, were those brought to the Vermont Forensic Lab for testing?
They were.
Looking at the bullets that were in the magazine, are you able to tell whether there's a head stamp on them?
Yes.
And can you tell the jury what that means and what they say?
Certainly. So the head stamp on the ammunition tells us the manufacturer and the gauge. So these are SIG 9mm Luger. So Luger is a style of bullet or a type of ammunition, and the 9mm is the caliber of the ammunition, and the manufacturer is SIG.
9mm Luger would be the...
How many firearms total were located in the camper?
I think she got that wrong.
There were 6 total.
Okay. How many pistols or handguns?
2 handguns.
Okay. And this being one of them?
Correct.
What was the second one?
Second one was a 9mm Taurus pistol.
Show you what's been marked as States 50. Can you tell us what that is?
Yes, that is a 9mm Taurus pistol that was found in a kitchen drawer.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Judge. The state would move to admit 79 and 79A.
Any objection?
No objection.
They're admitted without objection.
Where should I put them, Your Honor?
Looking at States 50A, can you tell us what this is?
Yes, so these are the 2 kitchen drawers opened, and the drawer on the right you can see in the lower, in the front lower corner of the photo there is the Taurus pistol in the leather holster.
Okay.
Another view of that sort of more close up.
So this is where that second handgun was located when you searched the van?
Correct.
And that holster was on it?
Yes.
Can you tell the jury what this is a...
Sure. This is I would say, a storage cubby unit that had been built into the van above the head of the bed.
Okay. And did you search these baskets?
We did.
And can you tell the jury what is in this picture?
Certainly. In one of the baskets contained miscellaneous ammunition and also a silencer or suppressor.
And was the silencer suppressor labeled as item 22?
I would need to refer to my report or an evidence list to be sure, but to the best of my recollection, yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as 52A.
Do you know what brand it is? Is it like a Silencer Co?
52A, Judge, based on no objections.
Okay. Any objection?
Objection.
52A is admitted without objection.
Can you tell the jury what this is?
Okay, so it was marked 22. This is the silencer or suppressor seen in the photograph that was in that basket with the ammunition.
Okay. And did you know, was the silencer sent to the lab for testing?
It was.
Okay. And did you notice anything of interest related to the silencer?
The items as they were collected were brought onto the command post where we have better lighting and a controlled environment to take better photographs. During the time when this was being examined and photographed and documented on the truck, there were red fibers, or at least a red fiber, in the end of the silencer that were appreciated by members.
Okay. And were you able to collect that?
No. During the process of trying to collect it, we believe that it fell down into the barrel of the silencer.
Okay. So did you take a swab from the silencer?
We did take a swab of the silencer.
Okay. And was that labeled 22A?
Yes.
And did that go to the Vermont Forensic Lab for testing?
Yes.
I'm going to show you States 53. I'll take it.
Okay. Thank you.
Can you tell the jury what's in this photo?
This is just in front of, so the bed made up the entire back of the camper, the rear of the camper. So just in front of that, looking down the camper on the left-hand side was like a couch area, if you will, two small chair type things. There was a space in between, so it's more of a chair than a couch, I guess. Okay. A seating area.
In States 54?
This is a photo from the kitchen area, again looking to the back of the van, showing the bed.
Okay. States 55?
This is, as each layer of bedding was removed from the bed, further photographs were taken. So this is down to the mattress with like a mattress topper on it.
Okay.
This is the mattress outside. What you see in the previous photo, the underside of what you could see in the previous photo.
Okay.
This is the bed, the shelf that the mattress laid on after the mattress was removed.
Just make sure to note the number you're talking about when you talk about this.
States 57.
Thank you. So I'm looking at States 57.
States 57 shows the
bad courtroom audio.
Where the mattress laid on top of.
I want to see if there's a hole in this.
And there's a close-up in the next photo, but was there something of interest that?
There is a red-brown stain on the 4th panel of wood up.
Okay. States 58.
Yeah, so this is a red-brown stain on the panel where the mattress had been laying on the bed.
Okay. What was the significance of taking the photos of the mattress and then of the wood underneath?
So when we brought the mattress outside of the van and took photographs of both sides, it was pretty clear that a bleeding event happened on what ended up being the underside of the mattress, the way we found it, right? On the left-hand side, so the side closest to the inside of the camper, there was a significant blood stain there.
So he flipped the mattress.
While that stain was still wet, the mattress was then flipped, so the stain is more on the right side or the back side, towards the back of the camper.
Okay. And did you collect any swabs from the mattress?
We took a large cutting from the blood stain.
Okay, and did that get labeled as 17A, item 17A?
Yes.
And did that get sent to the lab for testing?
It did.
Okay. I'm looking at States 59. Can you tell us what this is a picture of?
So this is the floor area, and you see the driver's seat of the van and the contents behind the seat. There is a faded red toolbox of sorts that had a red-brown stain on it, as well as, very hard to see in this photograph, but you can see the handle of a saw that was also collected. There's the saw.
State 60, is that the saw that was in the previous photo?
Yes.
And State 61?
The saw says Jessica
State 61 is a close-up view of the end of the saw with a red-brown stain on the end.
Okay. And was DNA swab collected from the blade, the reddish-brown stain on the?
It was.
And was that identified as 32A?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And was that also sent to the lab?
It was.
Tell us what this is a photograph of.
This is a photo of a garbage can on top of I'm not sure if it was a shelf or a refrigerator.
That's State 62. State 63.
Inside the garbage can is this bottle, which when it was removed is a bottle of bleach.
State 64.
The bleach bottle.
And State 65.
This is the floor of the shower after the 8 bags were removed from the shower. There are red-brown stains on the floor of the shower.
Okay, and was a swab collected from the tub drain?
It was.
Was that labeled as item 36?
No, I believe those are 33.
The swab was also 33?
I believe so. If I could, I'd need to refer to my report to be sure. I believe 36 was a different swab of red-brown stains.
Okay. I'm going to, just to be sure.
Yes, thank you.
You wrote several reports in this case. Would this be the van and processing report?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I'm going to show you what's been marked as state 107.
Thank you.
Just refresh your recollection.
Thank you so much. So 33, as depicted by the placard, 33 was 2 swabs of the shower floor that are seen there.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes.
I'm going to just go back to the bleach bottle for 1 minute. When this picture was taken of the Hannaford bleach bottle, was there a known significance at the time?
That the van, we believe that the van had been cleaned.
Okay. All right. State 66, can you tell us what this is?
This is a not very clear photograph of the contents in what would be the passenger side floor area. There's various items there, but the item of significance to us was the Swiffer wet jet mop.
Okay. State 67?
Yes, this is a photo once the mop was removed out of that area.
State 68?
68 shows the bottom side of the Swiffer pad that is dirty with some red-brown stains as well.
And State 69?
This would be the side that sticks to the Velcro, so the upper side, but you can see that the red-brown stains have soaked through to the other side of the cloth.
And State 70?
State 70 is a bag that was also located in that area, shown a few photographs ago where the mop was. This is a garbage bag that contained a pair of gloves.
Okay. So this bag was not located in the shower, is that?
Correct. This was not in the shower.
Okay. And State 71?
Those are the gloves that were inside of that bag.
State 72?
This is the center console area of the van. And we're just sort of taking that photograph to show the area, and the next photograph gives you what we're actually taking a photo of.
State 73.
This ring was recognized by me as being Emily's engagement/wedding ring.
Okay. And how did you recognize that?
From my time earlier in the day going through social media posts, there's a photograph of Emily and Joseph on what appears to be their wedding day, and the ring is depicted in that photograph.
So State 74, is that just a closer?
That's a closer view of the ring, yes.
And State 75?
This is another photograph because on closer examination of the ring, there were red-brown stains on the ring.
Okay. And so State 76, is this the photograph that you located on Facebook?
That's one of the photographs where I recognize the ring, yes.
Okay. And so
the picture's still out on social media.
Mr. Ferlazzo and Emily Ferlazzo?
On
yes.
Facebook.
And she appears to be wearing that ring. Is that the importance?
Yes.
Did you also go to the Bear Run condo in question?
I did. It was a few days later, but yes.
Okay. Oh, I think I already admitted them, so I'm going to go. All right. State 77, can you tell us what this is?
So this is a photograph of the parking area. It is depicting the front of my truck, my cruiser at the time, as the parking lot was rather narrow, but a parking area that goes for the condos.
Okay. And State 78?
Another view of the condo.
And what was the significance of these photographs?
This was the condo that Mr. Ferlazzo's sister had rented for the weekend when Joseph and Emily came to visit them.
And were you also present for the autopsy of Emily Ferlazzo?
I was.
Okay. And where did that occur?
At the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner here in Burlington.
And do you recall when that occurred?
That occurred on the 20th of October, 2021.
Your Honor, if I may approach with States 122, which is the stipulation number 7.
Any objection to stipulation number 7?
No, thank you.
And 122 would be the state exhibit number. Members of the jury, the state and defendant, Joseph Ferlazzo, have agreed that you may find certain facts. This is called a stipulation. 8 black garbage bags were collected on October 9, 2021 by Vermont State Police Detective Sergeant Amy Nolan during a search of the camper pursuant to a valid search warrant. The 8 black garbage bags were transported to the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner by Vermont State Police Detective Ben Katz. These bags were x-rayed by Dr. Shapiro at the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner on October 20th, 2021. Bags number 1 and number 2 did not contain human remains and were examined by Detective Sergeant Amy Nolan of the Vermont State Police. Bags number 1 and number 2 were in the same condition at the time of their inspection as they were when collected from the camper on October 19, 2021. Bag number 1 was logged by the Vermont State Police as CSST Van 1/CSST OCME, Office of Chief Medical Examiner 1. Bag number 2 was logged by the Vermont State Police as CSST Band 2/CSST OCME 2. Bags number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, and number 8 contained human remains, and the contents were examined by Dr. Stephen Shapiro. Bags number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, and number 8 were in the same condition at the time of their inspection as they were when collected from the camper during the search on October 19, 2021. Bag number 3 was logged by the Vermont State Police as CSST Band 3/CSST OCME 3. Bag number 4 was logged by the Vermont State Police as CSST Van 4/CSST OCME 4. Bag number 5 was logged by the Vermont State Police as CSST Van 5/CSST OCME 5. Bag number 6 was logged by the Vermont State Police as CSST Van 6/CSST OCME 6. Bags number 7 was logged by the Vermont State Police as CSST Van 7/CSST OCME 7. Bag number 8 was logged by the Vermont State Police as CSST Van 8/CSST OCME 8. Chain of custody of these items is not being challenged. As with any evidence in this trial, you must decide what weight you will give this stipulation. And 122 is the exhibit number.
Thank you, Judge. And the state would would move to admit photographs 81 through 91.
Any objection? 81 through 91 are admitted without objection.
Okay, so you said that the autopsy of Ms. Ferlazzo occurred on October 20th of 2021?
That's correct.
What was the first thing that you did in the autopsy? All of the bags were placed into a transport bag, and the first thing that was done was that bag was documented and then opened, and then each bag was x-rayed. Okay. What did you discover in the first bag?
In the first bag was a red throw pillow.
And for the record, I'm showing you what's been marked as states 81.
Yes. The pillow, as you can clearly see, appeared to have 2 bullet defects in it.
Careful, when they start advancing these pictures, we might see something we don't want to.
Throw pillow identified as item 1A?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as states 80 and judge will take admission as states
80. That's 80?
Yeah.
Any objection, Ms. Johnson?
No objection.
80 is admitted without objection.
Can you just describe for the jury what this is and the significance?
So this is the red throw pillow seen in the picture, along with the original packaging that it came in.
Was a sample of this throw pillow sent to the lab?
Yes, I believe there was a sample of it. Okay. Yes.
And when you saw this pillow in the first bag, did it look familiar to you?
It did.
And why is that?
There was another identical pillow on the couch sitting area of the van.
So I'm showing you it states 82. Is that the other matching
yes,
pillow?
Yes, some very similar, if not identical pillow.
Okay. And what did you discover in the second garbage bag?
There was a bed pillow, which had a gray pillowcase on it. In between the pillowcase and the pillow was a projectile. And there was also a gray sheet, a fleece sheet in the bag.
Showing you what's marked as states 83.
So this is the gray pillowcase with the projectile on the pillowcase.
Okay. And was this projectile labeled as item 2A?
I would need to refer to my autopsy report if possible.
Would it also likely be on the evidence?
It would, yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as states 108 for your recollection.
Thank you.
Your autopsy report. But I'm also going to just show you what's been marked as 83A.
Okay. Yes, 2A.
So that is the projectile that was located between the pillow and the pillowcase?
Correct.
We've moved to admit states 83A.
Ms. Johnson, any objection to 83A?
No.
83A is admitted without objection.
And in states 84, can you tell the jury what this is?
This is a projectile that was located within the actual pillow, not the red pillow, the other pillow that was in the bag.
Like a bed pillow?
A bed pillow, yes.
And was that projectile labeled as item 2B? Or 2B, I should say.
2B. Yes, 2B.
Move to admit states 84A. Is it admitted, Judge?
I'm sorry.
Sorry, 84A.
Any objection?
No objection.
84A is admitted without objection.
Show you what's been marked as states 85. And tell the jury what this is.
This is a cartridge casing, meaning a fired round of ammunition.
Show you what's been marked as 85A. And was this noted as item 2C?
C, yes. So it was also located in garbage bag number 2.
Okay. Move to admit states 85A.
Any objection, Ms. Johnson?
No objection.
85A is admitted without objection.
And can you tell us what states 86 is a picture of?
This is the gray pillowcase that was on the bed pillow, located in bag number 2. This is the pillow that pillowcase was on.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as states 87A.
When the prosecutor moves away from the microphone, the audio system just picks up everything, and it makes every noise really loud.
Jury, what that is?
This is the pillow depicted in that photograph that was in the gray pillowcase.
And anything of significance you can still see?
There is a clear bullet defect in the pillow.
Judge, the state would move to admit states 87A.
Any objection? 87A admitted.
And on the back side of that pillow, and also depicted in states 88, what is that?
Based on the x-ray, there was the projectile we believed was in the filling of the pillow, so that's where I cut into the pillow to find the projectile.
Okay, thank you. States 89.
This is the fitted bed sheet that was also in bag number 2.
States 90.
These are 2 unfired rounds of ammunition, also located in bag number 2.
And states 91.
This is a projectile that was removed from bag 4.
I'll show you what's been marked as states 91A, and also item 4A.
Yes.
Can you just tell us again what that is?
Yeah, it's a projectile.
And that was discovered in bag number 4?
Yes.
State would move to admit 91A. No objection.
Admitted without objection.
And was that item, that last item, sent to the lab for testing?
It was.
Okay. What else was located in bag number 4, if anything?
Sorry.
This is where it gets
Emily's
hard.
head.
Okay. In looking at that, were you able to determine Emily's identity?
Yes.
And how were you able to determine that?
I recognized Emily from photos.
Okay. I'm going to enter stipulation number 8, Judge, states 123.
Any objection, Ms. Johnson? Stipulation number 8. Members of the jury, the state and the defendant, Joseph Ferlazzo, have agreed that you may find certain facts. This is called a stipulation. 8 black garbage bags were collected on October 19, 2021 by Vermont State Police Detective Sergeant Amy Nolan during a search of the camper pursuant to a valid search warrant. The 8 black garbage bags were transported to the office of the chief medical examiner by the Vermont State Police Detective Ben Katz. These bags were x-rayed and further analyzed by Dr. Shapiro at the office of the chief medical examiner on October 20th, 2021. Bags number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, and number 8 contain human remains.
They're not going to show those.
Those remains were identified as Emily Ferlazzo, date of birth July 25th, 1999. Emily Ferlazzo's identity is not being challenged.
Excuse me.
As with any evidence in this trial, you must decide what weight you will give this stipulation. State's Exhibit 123, admitted.
What did you discover in the 5th bag?
I'd like to refer to my report if I could.
Yes. And that's, remind me what number that is.
These bags
that
have
is States
portions
108.
of Emily's remains in them. They're not going to show pictures of this. They were stipulated.
Okay. Bag number 5 contained a right arm and a left foot.
And what did you discover in the 6th garbage bag?
Bag number 6 contained the rest of the right leg.
And the 7th garbage bag?
Number 7 contained Emily's torso.
And the 8th garbage bag?
Left arm and right foot.
And did you also collect swabs from the remains found in these bags?
From the remains, no. A DNA card was collected to have a sample of Emily's DNA, but the handles of the bags had been swabbed on scene on the 19th.
Okay, I was referring to the DNA card. Can you tell the jury what that means?
Sure. During autopsy, because it's always standard protocol to have a DNA sample of a victim or a decedent on file. So a blood sample is taken, a drop of blood is placed onto a card, and that's called a DNA card.
Okay. And was that DNA card labeled as item 15? Are you able to, is it in your story?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And was that sent to the Vermont Forensic Lab for testing?
Yes, it was.
When you were examining the remains, did anything about a particular area of the body surprise you given what you knew about the investigation?
Yes.
What caught your attention or what surprised you?
Dr. Shapiro actually drew my attention when he was examining Emily's torso.
Okay. And so did you look for yourself to see what had caught his attention?
I did.
And what about the body did you observe?
Several stab wounds in Emily's torso.
Okay. And what were the sort of approximate location of these stab wounds?
Mostly upper chest. One particularly, which would have probably entered her heart.
And any on the back side of her torso?
I believe there were a few on the back as well.
And so did learning of this additional information during the autopsy lead you to search for anything additional in the van?
Yes, so because I was at the autopsy, my partner, Aaron McNeil, had shown up in the later evening on the 19th. So on the 20th, because I was going to the autopsy, he was sort of overseeing we thought we were wrapping up processing, but learning this information during autopsy, the focus then became collecting all knives found in the van, excuse me.
Okay, and so did you have Aaron McNeil go into the van and collect those knives?
He was still working in the van that following day, so we just sort of said, okay, we're now need to focus on any knives found.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you.
You ready?
Good afternoon. Push up the third year.
Just a few follow-up questions. And for clarification, you attended the autopsy as an observer, correct?
As an evidence collector.
Okay. But you didn't really have any part of conducting the actual examination, correct?
Correct.
And just a few questions back to the Maple Fields encounter, the afternoon excuse me, of October 19th, 2021. You already testified that when you were walking with Mr. Ferlazzo to your vehicle, you had observed him seeming as if he might pass out, and you asked to put your hand on him.
Correct.
Do you recall testifying in a deposition on November 11th, 2022? No, sorry, November 29th, 2022.
I recall testifying in a depo, yes.
Okay. And in the deposition, you also described him at that particular point as he looked woozy. Do you recall that?
That would be accurate.
Okay. And you also described him as wobbling as he was walking. Do you recall that?
Yeah, that would be accurate as well.
Okay. And also in the deposition, you described him as looking pale and pasty. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. As you were walking with Mr. Ferlazzo to your truck, did you ever tell him he was free to leave?
No.
Okay. But he was essentially in custody, correct?
No, not at that point.
So if Mr. Ferlazzo had tried to walk away at that point, though, you probably wouldn't have allowed it, correct?
I would not have allowed it.
Okay. I'm just briefly, when you arrived at the St. Albans Vermont State Police Barracks, there was not an interview room available at that time, correct?
Correct.
And Mr. Ferlazzo had to stand, everyone was standing and waiting in the hallway until the interview room cleared out, correct?
There were 3 of us with Mr. Ferlazzo at that time in a hallway, correct.
Okay. And you had stated in your report, as well as your deposition, that you offered Mr. Ferlazzo a chair as well as some water because, as you stated, he appeared physically exhausted and barely able to stand. Is that correct?
Yeah, he was leaning against the wall.
Okay. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Ms. George.
No redirect, Judge.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
May we approach, Judge?
Wow. That is, I don't know why this particular witness is retired, but I can't help but think that cases like this drive people to retirement pretty quickly, because these are images that don't leave you, that haunt you, that when you have to, documenting opening each bag, literally assembling the pieces of the victim. Just terrible, absolutely terrible. Thankfully, obviously, those pictures, there were pictures. Trust me, there were pictures taken at the autopsy of everything. Hopefully, they never get leaked or never come out. We don't need to see those, but those pictures would be so prejudicial that there is no defendant in their right mind that would want them shown. So clearly, a stipulation was the right thing to do, stipulating that it exists and it is what they said it was. Saves the jury from having to see that, because that would be the only thing on the jury's mind, and that would be yeah. Wow. Great witness though, Sergeant Amy Nolan, retired detective. She looks like the spitting image of a friend of ours that used to live 2 houses away. She actually, that friend went to school with my oldest sister. Her name was Amanda, and it's just like I saw her, I'm like, Amanda. It was that close. The hairstyle, the color, the look, the demeanor. Obviously, this is more serious, and Amanda's a little bit more jovial, but it was doppelganger. It's crazy. Okay. Sound is tough. I wish we could make it better. We're doing everything we can here, but every time they talk away from the microphones, the audio system tries to raise the volume of the awful echoey noise in the hard-sided courtroom. This courtroom could benefit by some rugs on the floor and some sound dampening on the walls, and it would be a night and day difference.
Tomorrow so we're going to break for today. Tomorrow's a shorter day, but I'm going to ask you to get here a little early. I'm going to ask you to get here at 8:15. I'm hoping to start at 8:30.
Judge.
We're going to go until about 12:30 and then break for the day because we have some things in court I have to do independent of this case. And then we'll start again and might get through the evidence on Wednesday. That's at least the hope. We'll see how things go, but so far we're definitely ahead of schedule. All right? So we're going to release you for today. Same admonition, please, please, please don't talk to anybody about this case. Don't try and find out any information about it or read any news sources of any kind or social media posts. And with that, have a good night, and we'll see you at 8:30 tomorrow morning.
Okay, I'm going to turn this audio down here. The allegations are that he shot her on, I believe, the 16th. He was arrested on the 20th. He did some early efforts to try to stop the spread of blood in the van and moved her body to the shower, and that's where he dismembered it about 15 hours later using a handsaw. He stuck it in garbage bags, which he already had there. He didn't have to make a trip to the murder aisle for that.
No, Judge. Thank you so much.
Why don't you all get here at 8:15 just to make sure there are no additional issues to take up before your first hearing.
And we'll start at 8:30? Okay.
Can you just ask them to leave again?
Yes.
Yes.
So
The court is us to keep it. Okay.
All right. I did sing the birthday song this morning. Yes, Simbab, we did. No Walmart so far. No mentions of Walmart. But Vermont, I'm told Walmart is not as big a thing there in Vermont, and that most of them are neighborhood Walmarts, not full-size supercenters. I'm not sure why. Somebody let me in on the details on that. Apparently, Vermont has its share of murders going on just from the number of, investigations that the various witnesses have participated in. The defendant, after she went missing, he shows up in Barton? I forget what the name is in Vermont. He parks outside his sister's Airbnb. And we believe that's where he shot Emily. The sister did not hear anything. Obviously, if they used a pillow to block any blood spatter return on the gun, what would have happened? This is pretty sad. But if Emily was asleep on her white pillow in the bed, I believe what the evidence is showing is that Joseph then used the red pillow between the gun with a silencer. So he shot the gun through the silencer, through the pillow into Emily, shot 2 times. That's why we have burn marks on the pillow, the red pillow. Those bullet holes, those are seared. There was fire that came out and melted the fibers there. I think we'll get testimony about that. But through the pillow, and it killed instantly Emily. And then he moved the body to the shower where he cut it up there some 15 hours later. But between him getting arrested and him killing Emily, he went and had breakfast with his sister, gave her a tattoo, went to Emily's house and talked with the parents, and went and picked up the Jeep and talked to a friend driving back to pick up the Jeep. By that time, they had seen it. Confessed to a friend. It was pretty wild. Yeah, he had a shower in the sister's house because there was a body in his shower. He couldn't shower in his shower. He's claiming self-defense now. Several weeks after this occurred, after he confessed to his friend, after he confessed to the police, he's in custody. Several weeks after, he's like, oh, wait, I remember. It's clear now. We had a fight. Yes, we had a fight. She was attacking me. And she went for the gun that she carries she always has under her pillow. And I just happened to already have a gun in my hand. And so luckily I was able to defend myself and shoot her twice before she shot me. That red pillow on its own, I think, debunks that theory. That just it doesn't make sense. And then all the cover up, all the consciousness of guilt type stuff, flipping the mattress, changing cleaning the sheets, hiding the evidence, cutting up the body, everything else. There's nothing about that screams self-defense to me. Mike, is it your birthday? Happy birthday, Mike. Did I miss that? Have a happy birthday. It's Sinbad's hubby. Happy birthday. Mike, Sinbad, great supporter on the channel. Thank you very much. Happy birthday. 66 years old. I'll play just a tiny bit of music. We won't do the whole song, but we'll do just one quick verse. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mike. Happy birthday. I hope you have a good one. I hope it was been absolutely fantastic. And Sinbad, thanks for sharing the birthday with us. Help yourself to free pancakes at Denny's. Debbie, happy birthday yesterday. That's awesome. The judge tells us that this case is going to be wrapped up, at least the state side of it, Wednesday. It's possible even the defense side could be wrapped up Wednesday. Usually these cases, defense does not have a lot to go on witness-wise, but we'll see what we have on the rebuttal after defense asserts self-defense. That's going to be interesting. Kayla Newell says, sister, why can't you shower at your RV, defendant? It's clogged. It's a dead end. I tried everything. Yeah, seriously, that is just... Bug Dugger gifted a membership and it went to Ma's Homemade Soap. Congratulations, Ma's. And thank you very much, Bug Dugger, for your generosity. This is tough. This is a tough one. The dismembering. The nonchalance. Just like, he's not plussed. He's just... Yeah, and then I cut her up, and I had to bag it this way, and we just ate different. I think it's 7, 8 bags. I think 8 bags. I think it was 8 bags. Yeah, because it's like left hand or right foot. Okay, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 8 bags. It's just like, holy cow! How can you sit here and just talk like that, and just be cool about it? It is wild. Debbie Blair, happy birthday as well. Let's see. Made Mike's day. Mike, happy birthday. You deserve it. You deserve it. Happy birthday. Yeah, it takes it to a next level. I can see in a heated argument, in a fight, somebody loses their cool and acts out. But normally at that point, it's like, oh crap, what have I done? Right? And instead of being like, well, now to hide the body. No, that's like there's like regular murder, and then there's mafia level murder, and hiding the body is the mafia level murder. Especially if you're saying if it's self-defense, there would have been a call there. It's like, help, police! You weren't here to defend me. I had to defend myself. I hate that it happened, but it's the only thing I could have done. Nope. Instead, it's just, I'm gonna go shower at sister's house, go out, grab some breakfast, give a tattoo. Just. All while texting Emily's phone. Hey, babe, what you doing? Where are you? Why aren't you texting me back? You're such a butt for not texting me back. Yeah, just and I'm going to see her parents. We're all invited to Debbie Cook's Christmas stream on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sounds good. I have to tell you, Debbie, I might not be able to be there because Saturday, before we went to the ballet, I got out my hammer and I started demolishing my downstairs bathroom. I know it is. I think it's terrible timing. Okay, because I'm knocking holes in the walls and the floor, and eventually the ceiling. I'm basically taking the whole thing out. Exactly what we did upstairs. We're redoing the entire bathroom, and I'm doing it in the middle of winter. So outside it's like 27 degrees. Now I'm going to put a big hole in my house while it's 27 degrees outside. But the good news is when it's this cold, there are no bugs that come in through the holes. So we like the bugs to stay outside, not inside. I have to replace joists under our house. I have no idea how to do that, let alone how much it's going to cost. But we'll figure it out one step at a time. But first of all, I thought I'll just tear the tile off because we have a fully tiled-in bathroom, the downstairs bathroom. It's the size of, a very unloved janitor's closet. Let's say that. It's a small closet. In most places, you can stretch your arms out and touch both sides. That's how big the bathroom is. It's tiny. We are going to move it back this way and take out some of this closet right here, shorten this closet, put the shower in there, extend the bathroom, make some room, move the sink out of so it's not like you open the door and you're walking into the sink. We're gonna do all these things. But I thought I'll just tear the tile off the wall because that's easy enough. This tile is just mounted on like the cement, the backer cement. There's not a backer board. No, it's just like you've got studs, the slats, and then like 1.5 inches of cinder block like cement, and it's all I can do to pry one tile at a time off, and it's exploding and shattering tile everywhere. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to be doing this Saturday. I'm taking the hammer. I've got all of one side, the small side of the shower next to the door, crushed down to the cement, but I need to take it down to the studs. So. But Debbie, have a wonderful Christmas stream. I'll see if I can pop in if I can, but that's what I'll be doing. I can tell you what's needed in the remodel. I can tell you what's needed. I need a carpenter. I need a demo guy. I need a plumber. But nope. Instead, I just have me. I've got a friend who is a contractor who's going to instruct me on exactly what I need to do to replace that bad beam, that bad joist. And I think we only have to replace a section of it and possibly jack up the house just a tiny bit while we're doing it to make the floor nice and level. We'll figure all that out. But let's see. Old houses aren't easy to work on. Amen. This one. But when we're done, we'll have 2 brand new bathrooms, a brand new kitchen. I think while I'm at it, I can get at a good portion of our electrical while I'm under here. I might rewire the house so we actually have a ground instead of no ground in our house. I'm like a walking. This house is. It is a beautiful house, but Amber, it needs so much help. So much help. Anyway, it's the original bathroom. Yeah, we changed out the sink because the door to the bathroom is not a regular sized door. It's super narrow, so you have to turn sideways to go through it. And then the sink is right in front of the door. And so we changed out the sink to make it a little pocket sink it's only big enough to wash your hands in. It's just tiny. It's a money pit, yeah. No job is too small for a new power tool, just saying. What's the power tool to take out tile? Jackhammer? I have to be careful because the floor is bad under the shower. That's why we're doing this. So I need to be careful to not fall through. It's not a brand new pole. We've got a new power pole. Front loader, please, Bob. I could use a little mini excavator about at this point. I might just tap into some expertise, but yeah. You guys, I'll walk you through this. I still haven't shown you my upstairs bathroom now that it's done, but it's just missing the bidet. But if you watch the stream, the podcast on Thursday, you'll know that we actually did get a bidet and not know it. We just got done with our bathroom. It was worth all the work. Layla, I'm excited about this. Before we started building our Airbnb, I was petrified. I did not know how to repair a hole in drywall before then. Now that I know that you can just smash something and rebuild it. Home Renovision. Pal the Camel. Is it your channel? Amber, careful what you offer. You're already running the website for us and modding, but no, I'll take a look. Here's what I know. It's plaster and lathe. It's really bad cloth and wire, tube and wire. I forget what it's called. The electrical is awful. I've been replacing that every time we tear something out. We replace new electrical. And yeah. Schmoopy, back to the case. Yes, he did confess to a friend while driving back to get to his van. He gets up there and the cops are all over there. And he's like, just keep going, turn around, drive by. He's like, what's going on? He's like, well, I might have killed Emily and she's in the van. The friend's like, get out of my car. Get out. So today in mod chat from Minecraft Court. Ooh, Minecraft Court's been active. I have to check and see what they did. Is this our guy? Josh, is this our... Hang on. 2 hours, 6 minutes, 29 seconds. Let me just see this. I'm not showing you guys yet. 2 hour, 6 minutes. Is it our rapper dude? Oh, it's a different guy.
The defendant is present today in court with counsel, Mr. Mulkey. We're here for purposes of a change of plea. It is the state's understanding that today the defendant is desirous of withdrawing a formally entered plea of not guilty and pleading guilty to those.
We might have time to see this one. Give me just a second. It's only 3:30 here, so give us a second. We can pull this up. Judge John P. O'Donnell. Okay, you say 2 hours. All right, here we go. All right, we're gonna weigh in and see what this one says. What's going on? This Josh says this might be a little funny. That guy's done. Next up. Give it a second. It's in black, but it'll come back.
The defendant is present today in court with counsel, Mr. Mulkey. We're here for purposes of a change of plea. It is the state's understanding that today the defendant is desirous of withdrawing a formally entered plea of not guilty and pleading guilty to those charges as outlined in the indictment. And the matter will be referred to the Lake County Adult Probation Department for a pre-sentence report and any other reports the defense feels are appropriate in the matter.
Okay. Mr. Mulkey?
Thank you, Judge. Yes, that is all accurate. It's my understanding my client will be entering a plea today as outlined by the state to this matter. Thank you.
Is that your intention, Mr. Green?
Right.
Okay, how old are you?
34.
How far did you go through school?
Right, I completed school.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Correct.
Are you able to read, write, and understand the English language?
Right.
Prior to coming to court, have you taken any drugs or alcohol or any prescription medication in the last 48 hours?
No.
Have you ever been diagnosed with or treated for any mental illness?
No.
Did you get a copy of this indictment?
No, I have not get a copy of it.
The charges? You didn't get a copy of the charges?
I have some previous paperwork, but I haven't had today's copy.
Okay, but you've gotten it in the past, right?
All right.
Right?
Lawyers like that. Yes,
okay.
I gave it to you.
All right, now before I accept your guilty plea, I need to determine that you know and understand the constitutional rights you'll be waiving, the consequences of your guilty plea, and the maximum penalty I could give you, and I need to be satisfied that your guilty plea is being made freely, knowingly, and voluntarily. So I'm going to ask you questions. If you don't understand a question, then stop me. If you want more time to talk to Mr. Mulkey, let me know and I'll give you more time. You understand that?
All right.
All right, you have a constitutional right to have a trial, either to me or to a jury of 12 Lake County citizens. Do you understand that right?
Right.
Are you waiving that right?
Right.
If you go to a jury trial, the prosecutor, if you go to a jury trial, the jury must find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt before you can be found guilty. Do you understand that right?
Yes.
Are you waiving that right?
Yes.
If you go to trial, the prosecutor is going to call witnesses to testify against you. Do you understand the prosecutor must prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt at a trial?
Right.
After the witnesses are done testifying for the prosecutor, you have the constitutional right to have your lawyer cross-examine the witnesses. Do you understand that right?
Right.
Are you waiving that right?
Right.
If you go to trial, you have the right to have witnesses come here and testify for you. Do you understand that right?
Right.
Are you waiving that right?
Yes.
All right. If those witnesses refuse to come to court, I'll issue an order that's called a subpoena to make them come and testify. Do you understand that right?
Right.
Are you waiving that right?
Right.
You have the right to testify at trial if you want to. Do you understand that right?
Yes.
Are you waiving that right?
Yes.
You have the constitutional right to not testify at trial if you don't want to. Do you understand that right?
Yes.
Are you waiving that right?
Right.
If you decide not to testify at trial, nobody is permitted to comment on that decision. Do you understand that?
Right.
If you go to trial and you're found guilty, you have the right to appeal the guilty finding. Do you understand that right?
Right.
Are you waiving that right?
Right.
If you file an appeal, you have the constitutional right to have a lawyer represent you in the appeal. Do you understand that right?
Right.
Are you waiving that right?
Right.
If you couldn't afford to hire a lawyer, one would be given to you at no cost. Do you understand that?
Right.
If you file an appeal, you're entitled to have a transcript of all the hearings in this case. Do you understand that right?
Right.
Are you waiving that right?
Right.
If you can't afford a copy of those transcripts, they'd be given to you at no charge. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you plead guilty today, you don't have the right to appeal the guilty finding. Do you understand that?
Right.
Do you have any questions about any of those rights?
So, and my sentencing date will be within a few weeks?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. No question about your rights that I read to you?
No, I waived them.
All right. You still want to plead guilty to these two charges?
Right.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're fully admitting your guilt to the charges?
Right.
You understand by pleading guilty to these felonies that you're voluntarily giving up your freedom for whatever period of time that I could sentence you to prison, to jail, or to community control.
Right.
All right, now, count one, strangulation is a felony of the third degree. It carries a maximum prison term of 36 months and a maximum fine of $10,000. Do you understand that?
Right.
And assault is a felony of the fourth degree. In count two, it carries an 18-month maximum prison sentence and a $2,500 maximum fine. Do you understand that?
Right.
Now, I could give you a consecutive sentence. That means one sentence after another for the separate offenses. If I did that, you face a maximum prison term of 54 months and a maximum fine of $12,500. Do you understand that?
Right.
Are you on post-release control to the parole authority right now?
No.
Do you understand that your felony conviction will prevent you from owning or possessing a firearm?
No, I do not.
Okay, well, if you're convicted of this, if you plead guilty to this to these charges, then you're prevented from owning a firearm. Do you understand that?
Right.
Okay. Do you understand that if I send you to prison, that when you get out, you will be on post-release control for at least a year, up to 3 years under the parole authority?
It's all choppy here.
Right.
They'll put conditions on you. If you violate their conditions, they could send you back to prison on this sentence for up to 9 months for each violation, up to 1/2 of the sentence I give you. Do you understand that?
Right.
If that violation of post-release control is a new felony, then in addition to being prosecuted for that case, you could get an additional consecutive prison sentence for this violation. Do you understand that?
Right.
If I gave you an additional consecutive sentence for a post-release control violation, the maximum prison term you could get for that would be either 12 months or the time left under post-release control, whichever is more. Do you understand that?
Right.
Do you understand that if a prison term is imposed, you are eligible for judicial release?
Right.
Okay, I've got to pause this for a second. My side's, it's getting choppy for me. Let's see if I can just restart it, see if it gets better.
All right, I could put you on community control for up to 5 years, but if you violate any conditions, then I could send you to prison for 54 months. Do you understand that?
No, I was seeking probation. I don't know.
Right, if I gave you probation and then I found you violated, then you could go to prison for 54 months. Do you understand that?
Right.
Okay. Now, is anybody promised lenient on you pleading guilty? As to what I would in this case?
54 months.
Well, has anybody what I would sentence? Sentencing, the recommendation for sentence, your lawyer may make a recommendation for sentence. Do you understand? I don't have to follow either of those recommendations.
Right.
Now, have you had enough time to talk with Mr. Mulkey before pleading guilty today?
Right.
Has he discussed everything about your case and answered all of your questions?
Right.
Are you satisfied with the advice he has given you?
Right.
Have you been threatened or coerced in any way to plead guilty today?
No.
Are you freely, knowingly, and voluntarily entering your guilty plea?
Right.
Do you have any questions at this point?
Now, sentencing date within a few weeks, right?
It'll be January 15th. 4 weeks. Do you have any other questions?
No.
What?
Judge,
What?
I made a mistake.
What?
In the paperwork, I'm sorry.
What?
The assault is a felony 5, but when I filled in the amount of time he faces, I put it for the 4, so it's really 6 to 12 months, and he faces a maximum 48 months.
Okay,
I'm sorry, Judge.
it's okay. I should have caught that.
And it's per the indictment too, Your Honor.
Right.
So the indictment's-
All right, so let's go back a little bit, Mr. Green. I told you that assault was a felony of the 4th degree, but it's a felony of the 5th degree. You understand that? It's less than what I said it was before.
Right.
Okay, so the penalty on that, the most you can get on that is 12 months in prison instead of 18. Do you understand that?
Right.
I told you before it was 18, but it's actually 12.
No, okay.
All right? And so then, when I told you about a consecutive sentence, if I gave you a consecutive sentence, the most you could get would be
48 instead of 54.
48 months in prison instead of the 54 I told you. Do you understand that?
I was listening.
Now I do.
Okay.
Now I do.
All right. Anything else?
No, Judge.
All right. Ms. Naroda, if the case went to trial, what would this evidence show?
Judge, had the state proceeded to trial in this matter, they would have brought forth the following facts that support the charges in count 1 and 2. And that was on May 28th of 2024 in Painesville, Lake County, Ohio. Otis Green was in the Lake County Jail. He was in the classification range on the 1st floor, and it was dinner time when Officer Lehman began serving dinner to Mr. Green and another inmate. When Officer Lehman had the cell door to Mr. Green's cell open, Mr. Green wanted to exit and change the TV channel, and the corrections officer did not want that to happen, so there was physical combat at that point. And once Mr. Green and the CO got back into the cell, Mr. Green placed his hands on the face and neck area of the CO, causing red marks and scratches, and temporarily affected the CO's ability to breathe at that time, because he was angry that he couldn't go out and change the channel.
Okay. Mr. Mulkey, anything to add to those facts?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Green, did you hear what Ms. Naroda said? The facts would show if witnesses came in here and testified at a trial.
I heard what she had to say, but I have an objection. That's not what happened. If I can explain my side of the story again. Did you want to hear it? Right. The correctional officer was serving supper chow. He let somebody else out during my hour out. They get to have multiple hours out on my floor or whatever. But he knocked my styro plate, and I'm real fed up with them serving me that type way, out of my hand, pushed me in my cell, and got into it with me. So, in self-defense, I was protecting myself. The officer was talking about some kneel down or gay comments and slurs. So I wasn't taking it. He knocked my food out of my hand, banana, and then they put me in a restraint chair or whatever. I do not agree with what's going on. That's all I have to say.
You can't plead guilty now. You're disputing the facts.
I have a moment with my client, Your Honor.
Yeah, why don't
y'all
give him some time by himself.
All rise.
Y'all talk this over. So prosecutor has to split. Court reporter splits. I think we get a bailiff that stays. It's like, look, all you have to do is just say guilty, we'll take it, and you'll get the probation. But no, you go off on the whole, he started it, I was defending myself, and now the judge isn't going to accept your plea. Yeah, this is not ending the way the lawyer thought it would. Although he pled guilty to everything up until when they said what were the facts of the case. Had this gone to trial, what evidence would have come out? And he's like, nope, that didn't happen. Knocked my plate. I'm sick of him doing that. Told me to kneel down. Called me a bunch of names. I'm not standing for it, so I had to defend myself. The other court is done for the day. Yes, Ashley. We're going to skip ahead. This is muted audio. Or should we watch this? Does it get animated? Josh? Throws us back into the regular court case we were following today with all this buzzing noise in the background. Turn it down just a tiny bit. Keep going, keep going. Do you want me to skip ahead, though, or just wait? Lawyer's still talking. Looks like the defendant is listening for the most part. See the hand motions. That's actually reflected on the surface of the desk. I think it's the lawyer's hands we're seeing. The reflection. The lawyer's getting more animated. Larger hand gestures. Bailiffs are sworn to secrecy. They can't reveal what's happening here, so they'll never tell. Public defender is rethinking his career choice right here. Defendant chimes in. Not having it. Skip past talking defendant, start talking again when judge comes back, and keep on his lawyer. Okay, here we go. We're going to fast forward just a tiny bit to see when the judge... Oh, let's see. Let's go to right here. All right, people are coming back in here. Knock on the door, let the reporter back in. Here she comes. Prosecutor's hot on her heels. Somebody let the judge know. Looks like the defense team has got it together now. We're on the same page. Unmute the microphone. Court reporter's going to take care of that. Just one more click. Oh, right there and right there. Nope, that didn't do it. Prosecutor decides to run out and grab her phone, which she left outside now. Nope, she left her phone on the chair. I can see it there. Now she's back. All right. She is wearing the outfit from Legally Blonde, which is a perfectly acceptable courtroom attire. Just waiting for the judge to finish watching whatever episode of whatever sitcom he's watching in his chambers. Will be done here in just a minute. I think it's Gilligan's Island. Legal Bond says, "Did I hear my name?" You sure did. How are you doing? Okay, here we go. Judge is back. Show's over. They're still marooned on the island.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court and counsel. After a detailed discussion regarding trial tactics, strategy, and should that be an option for him, I went through those options and issues with my client, Your Honor. He mentioned here in court on the record something to the notion of self-defense. I explained to him what the legal connotations of that, presentation of evidence to support that potentially and all of that. And after that discussion, without going into its contents, Your Honor, he would like to go forward with his change of plea today and not raise a self-defense claim at this time, Your Honor. Thank you.
Well,
is that correct, Mr. Green?
That's what me and Chad T. Markey just said.
I know, but is that correct?
That's what we just said.
I know it's. I heard him say it, but that's not my question. My question is that correct? Are you claiming self-defense in this thing?
Right.
Is that yes?
That's what I just said.
Well, you said right.
Said right a lot.
So you don't want to plead guilty then?
I'm still gonna have to resume what we just said. Try to resolve this.
Your Honor, if I may, his concern was the change in the paperwork from the 18 months to the 12 months. That gave him a little cause for concern.
Why? I could see if it went from 12 to 18, that would give me concern too, but it went from 18 to 12, so a lesser charge.
You may inquire my client, Your Honor, to
why were you concerned that it went from 18 to 12?
Sound like a lie on me or whatever, so I don't know what the other 6 months came from, but I was trying to just...
Well, I made a mistake on it. When I told you 18...
That's why I was trying to lead towards a jury trial, but he told me, man, we can just resolve this and try to continue on with what we have going on instead of trying to testify at that and hear all their side or something. Just go through with what the judge going.
All right, so...
My Christmas goat is ready.
So my concern about this, Mr. Green, is that there has to be a legitimate reason for me to accept your guilty plea. Okay. If there isn't, then I can't accept it because that's not what my job is. Okay. Because what you said earlier is that you explained to me a situation where the officer came at you first and then you reacted to defend yourself. That's what you told me.
Right.
So if that's what happened, then you may or may not be guilty of this thing, depending on how the evidence comes out. If that's what you say happened, and I allow you to plead guilty, then that's kind of a charade, because what you're telling me is, on the one hand, yes, I'm guilty of it, but on the other hand, no, I'm not, because he came at me first and I defended myself. You see what I'm saying?
I want to do what my public defender said and just try to resolve all this as it's going on right now. So he just told me.
It's got to be your choice. Okay, you can't, it's not my choice, it's your choice.
It's not my choice, it's your choice.
No, just keep carry on how it's going then.
You may further inquire, Judge.
Okay. Well, it is going to be resolved. It's going to be resolved one way or another. It's either going to be resolved by a plea of guilty or it's going to be resolved by a trial. So it gets resolved. But if you're telling me that you're not guilty of it because of what you told me earlier, then I can't let you plead guilty, because then I'm not doing my job.
Carry on how me and my public defender just had said what we said. We had a little free words, a break. Discuss this.
You said you want a break?
No, we just had one.
I know you had one. Okay, so the question is, Ms. Naroda read or told me what she thinks if witnesses come in here, the facts would show. And my question to you after that was, is that true or not true? And then you explained to me what happened. Then we took a break. You talked to Mr. Mulkey, and you came back and said you want to do what Mr. Mulkey says, but that really doesn't answer my question, okay? So is what Ms. Naroda said in any sense at all true about what the facts would show if the case went to trial?
I'm doing my own public defender said, man, he said, let's just resolve it and resume how it's going, let's carry on what's going on.
All right, well, that ain't what I asked you, right? I asked you, is in any sense, is what Ms. Naroda said
true? He
true?
don't want me to testify for a 12 jury trial, and the correctional officer have their side of a say, and then still not agreeing with me. That's a waste of a jury trial.
Okay, well, true, maybe it's not true. I don't know. I've seen stranger things happen. But the problem remains, Mr. Green, that if you tell me you're not guilty of something, then I cannot let you plead guilty to something. You understand that?
I heard you.
I know you heard me. Do you understand that?
No, but I'm trying to carry on with the case, though.
Nope, it will not carry on. Will not carry on. And does it just cut out here? Is that how it ends? There will be no carrying on. I don't know why it just cut away. Let's see if they come back here. I think it's a different defendant. I think that's it. That's all they showed. Let's see when they come back who it is here in 5 seconds or so. Apparently they're having trouble with their video feed.
In violation of 20.
Yeah, because we're on to the next case. Bummer. So yeah, we'll never know. I guess we'll never know. Right. That's him. This is how it ends. Bailiff's there to take him back to custody. Bummer. Here's what happens.
Which was held on September 4th of this year. Defendant pled guilty to 2 counts, that being count 1, possession of cocaine, a felony of the 3rd degree.
Yeah, we're not going to do that one. It's a different case. If the judge is aware that you do not agree that you are guilty, he will not accept your guilty plea. He cannot. It would be wrong for him to accept the guilty plea. If you think you're innocent, you're like, well, the lawyer's telling me to say this, but I didn't do it. No, you're going to trial. You're going to trial for sure. So, and it might be something you could win. If he goes in there and testifies like, look, they served me on a plate, they threw my plate around, spilled my food everywhere, shoved me, they let other people do it. They're just, they do what they abuse me because they can in this jail. Maybe the jury's like, yeah, that's not right. Maybe they acquit him. Maybe he gets 0 months on that. Got a terrible lawyer. I would agree that possibly that if what the defendant is telling us is correct, that the lawyer is maybe should listen to his client a little more, because the lawyer can make a lot of decisions about trial strategy and that, but how you plead is entirely up to you. They're gonna weigh in, but it's up to you. Maybe they have surveillance. Yeah. I don't remember what the guy's name was. I think he's just belligerent. It's possible. Wogger, you might be right. Not old news. It's today's news, Nikki, but apparently they got someone they think is the only suspect. And apparently he had a firearm that matched the one used or similar to, as well as a 3-page manifesto, and was carrying the ID that he used to check into the hostel in New York. So yeah, that's circumstantial evidence that will look really bad on him. Actually, it's more than circumstantial. Show us the thumbnail. Let's go. Can I show you the thumbnail? To show you the thumbnail, I have to do this. It's not working. Someone's calling. Hang on one second.
Call from
Mr. Wisconsin.
Mr. Wisconsin, Ayden, how are you doing, my friend?
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Doing great. Happy Monday to you.
Yeah, likewise. So I just wanted to weigh in on our little prisoner beef we had just watched there.
Mm-hmm.
So the prison politics of this all, first of all, it probably seems silly getting yourself into an altercation over what somebody says, or, you know what I mean? But for truth of the matter is, correctional officers, they have a hard enough job. They should not be making their job any harder by trying to dictate what the inmates are doing with their TV. Okay? It's just silly. Nothing good will come of it. There can be no positive outcome. And truth be told, the inmates have their own quarrels about the TV as it is. You don't need to start interjecting, because what benefit or good can come of it? None. It's usually a power play of some sort, where the CO is going above and beyond what they're asked or required to do, just simply trying to, yield a moment of power or influence. So it's really a it's really a lose-lose. And if there is a situation arising over the TV, that's when the sergeant or the lieutenant of the jail comes in and intervenes, and they'll just take the TV. They'll just take the remote, and that's the end of it. So trying to dictate what happens with it from a CO standpoint is really above the pay grade, as they say. So it's literally making your job harder than it has to be, with no positive return on the decision to do so. So
Yeah, I agree. There's probably a little bit of pushback here. There's probably some fault on both sides. But the corrections officer wins this battle 10 out of 10 times.
And 100%. And the inmate's right. Like, he's right with the assertion that there's no point taking this to trial because the jury's going to believe the CO 100% of the time. And, whether or not that's right or wrong is really irrelevant. So I can understand what he's saying, where he says, like, I may not have done what you're saying I'm going to do, but I'm just going to plead to it anyway because there's no point in trying to fight it. That's what he's really trying to say in a less articulate, belligerent sort of way. He's saying, what's the point? Now, I believe that a lot of states, at least our state at least, has a no contest plea for that specific reason, where you're not assuming guilt of the situation, but you're saying the court has enough evidence to convict me whether I did it or not. That's what you're saying by saying no contest.
Yeah.
So that's what he really should be pleading if they allow it.
Yeah. You're do a better job than his pro se lawyer might do, or his not pro se, but his public defender lawyer.
Public defender,
which he sort of threw under the bus. The public defender wants me to do this. We're going to do that. Appreciate that, Ayden. Thank you very much for the clarification.
Right.
Right.
So,
I see how you threw that in there as well. Right. Stay safe. Happy holidays to you. Good to hear from you, Ayden.
All right.
We'll see you.
Yep. Love you guys. Have
Bye.
a good day. Bye.
Okay, quick peek over here at the thumbnail for this trial. Let me turn my face off so you can see all of it. Here we go. This is Vermont versus Joseph Ferlazzo, anniversary night trial. There's a couple things here. We've got everything up here, all this food. This is what they offered him to get him to spill his beans in the interrogation room. You've got the sandwich, the donuts, the coffee, the pizza, all that sort of stuff. It was all offered.
AWOL.
AWOL, hang on one second. You're live, but we're talking about the thumbnail for a minute. We've got the van with obviously the bang bang going on. We've got vodka. We've got the bong. Here in the background, these bang boom basketball tornado jackhammer. This symbolizes all the noise that's going on in the background of the trial, which is terrible, as well as the hums that are happening. With the headphones, it's quite a lot. I'm not sure about the boots and the. I have to look at this. Let's see let's see. We've got a Ducati motorcycle. What's the noise? Let's see.
Ooh, that's next on my purchase of motorcycles to add to my collection.
Long johns and boots off. I'm not sure where that was from. I don't recognize.
Oh, from the interview room.
Oh, when he stripped down?
Yeah.
He took it all off.
Too sexy.
Yeah. Okay. Good job. I've got the campfire over here. I love that the van is headed towards the polygraph. Bear Run was where the apartment was. Right here. Right. It's very tiny, but it says happy anniversary right there. So, and we've got the candle as well. So thumbnail's looking great. AWOL, what's on your mind?
What's up? Just called to piggyback off of Ivan's point. Mm-hmm. I have a friend. I'm not going to say in what state facility he works in, out of respect for his career and his personal life. But he has about 22 years in. He got like 3 years before he retires.
All right.
And he is in a state prison. He did county first. Something happened with the county, so he ended up going to a state prison. Nothing on his behalf. It was just a contract dispute. Mm-hmm. But he has a point where my friend told me there are certain COs that abuse their power, and then there are others that understand the position that I have a job to do, and I don't care what crime you committed. I'm not here to judge you. Somebody else did that. So I treat you with the respect as a man, but I demand it first as a CO. So if you respect me, I respect you. Some go overboard. There's bad apples everywhere.
It's
right?
a tough line to walk because
100%.
The COs, and I've seen it. I've hung out with the sheriffs back in the last county I lived in quite a bit. Spent a lot of time, even going through in the corrections facility, and there are people who are able to treat inmates as humans, as just respect, mutual respect. Clearly, there are rules that have to be followed,
Yes.
But they treat them with respect, they show respect, and they get it back for the most part. I'm not saying across the board, but for the most part. But at the same time, the inmates in many ways feel like they're being treated like animals. Okay, they are told exactly when to eat, what to eat, where to go, where to stand, how long they have to be there. They're literally shuffled between cages all day long, and so it's a delicate balance for sure. And the ones that can pull it off, I think, are should be commended and rewarded.
And it is rough too, because even though the COs get to go home every day, they're serving. If you do 25 years in this job, and he works 14, 16-hour shifts when he does overtime, that's a lot of time to spend in there. You spend more time with those inmates than he does with his family. So now you can't just see all that every day, go home and delete it, and then take your daughter to the park. It's not that simple. Yeah. It is a thankless job. It is a hard job. But some relish in the fact that I'm above you. Like, so that is the issue that even my friend has with other correctional officers. Yeah. He's like, do not abuse your power, because when you get off your shift, I now have to work that wing, and you riled them up.
Yeah. And
now I got to walk in there.
When there are people that abuse their power, it's very easy for the inmates or for people who are on the receiving end of that abuse to say, every shirt with the badge is the same. The face might be different, but it's the same. You're all the same, and that's
the crazy part, right? And he runs in, because this is another thing that people don't think about. Some of those people come home eventually. How you treat them. What happens if you run into them in public once they come out? He just ran into somebody at a car wash the other day. He was like, I was on the phone with him. He said, "Oh no. Oh, this guy's here. He did whatever, how many years. Oh, no." He's like, "I hope you don't notice me. I hope you don't notice me." He noticed him. And he's like, "Damn it." And he went up, and he was just like, "Hey, what's up, man?" Like,
what I'd say?
It was respectful.
Much like we treat people who are in recovery, we say, look, it's awesome that you're here. It's awesome that you're on the outside now, that your time's done and you're putting your life back together, getting things in order. That is cool. That is what we want to see. Why else do we send people to jail? It's not just for punishment, right? We want them to change their lives. We want them to get on the right feet. We say, hey, look, you need a reset. Clearly, you're not there right now. We can't let you out in public because you'll do it again or you'll continue on this path. But we'll put you in for a little while, give you opportunity and the tools to change, and then let you out and encourage you that way. So I'd say that's where the parole comes in. A good parole officer can be, a mentor instead of just like the guy who's going to catch you as soon as you trip.
Right, exactly. So I mean, the suicide rate for them. Ooh, I shouldn't have said that word for the demonetization, but that it's slip of the tongue. But that rate for them is super high. So I always check in with my friend. I go, "You feeling good?" Just to make sure that he's okay. Every now and then I make sure that he's okay, and he's okay. He's level-headed. He only got 3 years to go, so he's chilling. But shout out to all my COs out there. It's a rough job. Yeah. Your family has to deal with it. And if you can come out of that career level-headed, more respect to you.
Yeah.
So thank you. All right. I just wanted to touch base on that because it's not that easy in there for both parties.
I appreciate you sharing that perspective with us. Thank you very much, Awal. Good talking to you, my friend.
Yes, sir. You have a good night.
See you. Yep.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
sir. Bye.
We are just wrapping up. I know Broken Baker and crew, all the bakers are here. Welcome. Thank you very much. Broken Baker threw us out of the kitchen, says American. I'm a fan. You got thrown out. We like Broken Baker here. I know it's just a temporary removal. You'll be back in the kitchen again tomorrow. Everything's good. We're following this trial, this Vermont versus Joseph Ferlazzo, and this is. We came to hit the thumb. Thank you. Thanks for clicking the thumbs up button. That does wonders for the channel. This trial is crazy because he basically is saying I did it, but it was self-defense. But the evidence looks like his girlfriend slept, put a pillow over her head, held a gun with a silencer to the pillow and fired twice, killed her, then dismembered her body in the shower and was about to go drive off into the woods somewhere and bury the different pieces of her body. Now he's saying self-defense, but there's not a scratch on him. There's not a dent. There's not a ding. There's nothing that supports his, I was attacked. It was, I had to defend myself. It's not there. And generally it doesn't. Generally we're okay. YouTube, believe it or not, the algorithm is pretty good. Even sometimes when there are images that are shown, which normally the intent of the image is important as well. So I found lately the algorithm has been treating me pretty well. We're not showing things for their for dramatic effect. Does that make sense? So anyway, it's all good. We're good. You would think the Yankee candle wouldn't leave a mark. Yeah, you'd think you'd have a dent in your skull with a big solid candle wrapped in glass. That would leave some sort of mark, or even break the glass. Let's see. We have a buffer sound. Our soft-sit guy in Oakley is supposed to be back tomorrow at 10:30 for formal speeding ticket hearing. Josh, thanks for the reminder. Here's what we know. That's going to happen probably during the other court. So we're going to record that one. We're going to record Oakley, the soft-sit, and watch trial live out of Vermont. It's going to be a half day tomorrow. As soon as the half day is over, we're going to watch the soft-sit, which should be good. Oh, my goodness. I love Oakley. Judge Oakley can come down and, first of all, he has no problem swearing on the bench because he'll let some words fly. And it's fun when he just gets into it. I love that he stands. He's got a standing desk. And he just doesn't put up with crap. But at the same time, he's able to reach these guys. He's able to connect on a level with these soft-sit defendants where it's like, hey, we're on the same team. We're looking for justice here. And I want you to get it. You have to follow my rules, but we're going to move forward. I love that he's able to do this. I love that he's able to connect with people who come in spitting fire into his courtroom, sometimes even, having to get locked up or held in contempt a little bit, and then end up with like, I think they might get drinks after. It's just awesome. Oh, love Judge Oakley. In the case we were watching over our, which one? What? Let's see. Can you grab M's comment a few up? M. Where's M's? Okay. I missed it here. M had a great question. I'm looking. Gray asking a question. Oh, thank you, M. And thank you, Amber, for pointing this out. I missed this one. Does it help you for me to watch you even if I'm not watching? Would like to help you. Maybe going green isn't the way. Don't understand the YouTube highway. Okay, here's how it goes, Em. I love that you're here. It's awesome. I don't want you to have to, burn electricity, leaving all your TVs and devices watching the channel. When it comes to actually viewing, like monetization the channel gets from viewers, if you're just watching, think of it like about 4 cents per 1,000. So 1,000 viewers, 4 cents. There's not much there. The monetization becomes better if there's an ad that's shown, and then it becomes even better if you like the ad and you click on it, and it becomes even better if you like the ad, you click on it, and then you buy something after clicking on it. So it's all different. My point is, I hope you come here and just enjoy watching court, because that's what I love doing. So I have the least ads I possibly can, while still having a monetized channel. And I do not push any live ads. I don't think I've ever pushed a single live ad. I might have done one as a test when I said, okay, we're going to see if this works, if it all happens at the same time. But I don't push ads. Everything works out. I love what I'm able to do. This is my full-time job, but it is able to provide for my family, and it's awesome. Don't worry about what could make me a little bit more money. Worry about what you enjoy. If you've got suggestions for the channel for what you'd like to see, or how I could make this better for you as a viewer, That would be a bigger difference, and that's something I'd be more interested in. So watch when you can, be here when you can, comment when you can, hit the like button. It's free, and everything else is just gravy. so thank you. Wogger, I'm able to get by, and part of that's because we basically we bought our last house at the right time, and we're able to sell it after a huge increase, and so we're debt free. So being able to pay cash for this house, moving to a much cheaper area than we moved from, was huge in that. Huge, absolutely massive. Let's see. And we sold a kid. Says Mel. We sold a kid. Mel? Never. All right. Is this an ad promoting ads, or are we live? We are live, Josh. We're live. I'm just saying that that what I want for the channel, there are a lot of ways that I could make a lot more money on the channel. I mean, YouTube every single day has pop-ups on my end saying you can make 20% more per hour if I did this or that. And, I get meetings with the YouTube rep that says, hey, you can make more money if you do this. Have you thought about doing this? What about this type of deal? Will you allow these ads on your channel, all these ways to make more money? I love what I'm doing. I love the way it happens, and I want the experience of watching trials here to be the best it can be on YouTube for you. If I do that, I will make plenty of money, okay? Because people will be here, people will come and watch, and they'll come back, and it'll all take care of itself. If I focus on trying to make the most money I can, I think that would be killing the golden goose before it's ready to lay any eggs. so I love what we're doing. I don't want to change it much, although I do want it to make it a little bit better and bring you better content, better court cases, and better background, more commentary, more courtroom watchers, maybe even more cases at the same time. So things like that. So that's where I want to expand. So basically what I'm saying is just being here is enough. Thank you very much, Em. I appreciate that. All right. And if it doesn't work out, there's always the boy band. That's plan B, Bob, is the boy band. Do you have a website? I do. I do have a website, but I do a terrible job, Amber, of providing content for that website. So if you do have premium, YouTube Premium, watching it is a huge benefit to the channel. Time you spend watching it. Basically, YouTube takes a portion of what you pay every month in YouTube. They take a cut, and the rest they split amongst all the channels you watch based on how much you watch them. So that is actually a huge source of revenue from the channel is people who have YouTube Premium and watch the show. So thank you. That's very much appreciated. All right. We can put stuff on the website for you, just saying. We're slowly building it. I do have a website. It's topmark.media. I'm not a web person. I don't know how to do that. Amber's helping me out a ton, but I haven't given her anything to work with. Em, thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. This particular case is not a good example of good audio because the audio is so bad, we just cannot fix it. But the good news is we're going to be done with this case probably about midweek. By the end of the week, we do expect a verdict, probably Thursday, maybe Friday. Depends what happens on the defense's case and rebuttal witnesses. So we should be done with this case within a week. I just want you to debut it finally. Topmark.media, www.topmark.media. Topmark, all one word, Topmark. I made up that word. It doesn't exist. I think it should be 2 words, but I made it 1 word when I applied for the business. So, yeah, Amber's pretty much got free reign on that website. And if it gets really bad, then I'll say, let's change this a little bit. But she's got it. Debbie, do what's easiest for you. Honestly, do what's best for you. What's easiest for you is what makes you happy is what we want. We want you to be here and we want you to be happy. I don't want you to make choices strictly based on how much they'll earn the channel, unless that's what you want to do. So I love that you're here, Debbie. That's it. All right. We are going to Birthmark Media was taken. Thank you, Adam. That was my first choice, but it was gone. All right. Tomorrow morning, we're going to start early. I promise not to be late tomorrow. Trial's going to start at 8:30. We'll be here at 8:15. That's when the judges ask the jury and the lawyers to be there. So we're going to pick up tomorrow. We got through the... Not the ME testimony, but the investigator who documented the medical examination. We got through that today. There's still, the ME testimony is still to follow, I think. That's got to be in there. It's going to be a short day tomorrow. They're going to wrap it up on Wednesday. Defense gets their say. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. So we're going to be there quickly. Verdict music will be this week, because I think it's going to be a quick verdict as well. Tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe till we go live again tomorrow morning at 8:15 a.m. Eastern Time. Have yourselves a wonderful day. I'm feeling better, by the way. I didn't take any medication on lunch because the headache was sort of gone, and even though we had all that crappy audio today, it stayed away. So I'm feeling better. Hopefully I'm on the mend. Tomorrow will be good. I have to have my voice back completely for hump day on Wednesday, or else that could be miserable. So, you guys have a good night. We'll see you in the morning. I just saw it, Apple Treasure. Happy 11-month anniversary to you. Thank you very much. Apple Treasure, thank you. Indy Cindy, thank you. Bug Dugger, thank you. Caitlin Newell, thank you. I missed the outro. Horse Welfare, thank you very much. I think prison will suit him well. I missed all these. I missed everything. Michelle Phillips in North Carolina. Roro. When did these pop in? Was I busy? I was bidding. When these popped in. Mrs. R.A. says what? I was bidding on auctions. Okay. I have to go now. We'll see ya.